Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you guys about Ready to Love. We're dealing with this latest episode, episode 4, I believe, where we got to see some interesting things happen. I'm going to say it straight. Carmen is an absolute supervillain, okay? She came in here like a wrecking ball, okay? And first it was a color contacts. Now she's putting contact on a brother called Eric. I mean, she put pause on him. And she's put pause on Clifton behind the scenes. Now, I don't know what Carmen is doing, but Carmen is clearly doing some rounds in these streets, okay? All right? Listen, nobody said you have to play fair. In Love and War, nobody said you have to play fair. You know what I'm saying? Everything's fair in Love and War, you feel me? So we're going to discuss about the latest episode and some of the things that happened along the way. There were some interesting things we saw with Sabrina. We're asking that question now. Does Sabrina want men to fight over her? Specifically, does she want Demetrius and Troy? Is it Troy? What am I calling him Troy? It's not Troy, is it? What's his name? Begins with a T, right? Is it Troy? Oh, man, I'm forgetting his name, bro. You know how I be killing people's names, but you know who I'm talking about. She does she want them two to fight over her? Precious giving us some energy, which, listen, we all like your good energy, Precious, okay? But the sexual energy, Tori, thank you. The sexual energy from Precious is large. I mean, it was way too much. I'm actually getting a little bit concerned because I am. And it's not just Precious, it's all the ladies. Like, yo, listen, it is ready to love, not ready to lust. What's going on? You know, like, this is just 101 dating tip. Throwing out sex like that, you're basically throwing your ass in the air and saying, I want to get hit, is literally going to get you what you want, but not what you actually need. Right? Because I'm assuming that you're coming in for relationships, but I'm getting it seems like everybody's throwing out that sexual energy. You know, and I'm confused. I'm confused. Manne, if you end up with these women, then I don't want to hear you complaining, saying that they didn't care about anything else apart from sex, because they've been telling you what they're on. Okay? Everybody seems to be on sex right now. Joy and Laverne, or I don't know if maybe it's Ready to Love. I don't know. Maybe it's Ready to Love this season. Maybe they're only showing us conversations of them having sex, but it's way too much. Joy and Laverne had the little pottery session. Don't get it twisted. I'm gonna drop bars too. We all gonna drop bars, but I mean, damn, everybody's dropping bars. Everybody's having conversations about sex, huh? Pottery turned into an innuendo with Laverne and Joy. There's just so much going on with different people on this show. AP, I don't think she's ready for the thing, but we can talk about that as well. You know, so this is a lot just going on right now. New girl Tina. Oh, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, Tina. Listen, Tina is looking like a turner. I'm telling you, baby. Okay, she's gonna turn my head around and around and around and around and around. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I was gonna say another joke, but I think that might be not insensitive. But cool. So listen, let's get into the show. But before we do, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor: like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. All right. Don't forget to stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot. Really, really quick breakdown of what we saw, what happened, and what was going on in the show. Yes. All right. Cool. Listen. Whew, Chile. Okay, quick breakdown. Okay, we had Tina and Wiley get together. They're around about the same age. You know, she just came out of a bad relationship, which was obviously with a baby father as well. You know, Wiley's saying to us he wants a mental connection, doesn't want to just, you know, get interested in her physically, which is good. We need that. And they ended up exchanging numbers as they went along. We had Donovan and Precious date. The less said, the better. My girl said, I'm putting down, but he ain't picking up. Baby, yeah, he's not. Like, what are you trying to do? Okay, what are we trying? We know what you're trying to make him pick up, babe, but come on. That's it's looking a little bit desperate. Okay, the way it's presented is important. If all you want is sex, please, there's a way to present it in a particular way that seems classy and dignified, that you want some D. It's okay. I'm not even against it. Listen, I always tell you guys, key words are important. Okay, key words are important. If you want the poussoir, if you want the dicoloid, listen, you gotta present in a particular way. You know what I'm saying? I want to call it a different name, the delash. If you want the delash, that means, for the man. If you want the delash of the man, then you need to, let's present in a bit different way. If you want the poussoir, we want it you got to ask for it in a different way, because this coming out blunt and it's coming out vulgar, it's coming out just desperate, it's just coming out too much. Anyway, let's say about that better. I've spoken too much about that. All right, cool. Laverne and Joy, their pottery date was mad. But Joy, do you know what's really funny? Joy asked the same question that P.O. asked, and ain't nobody saying it's stiff, but it's all about delivery, isn't it? That's what we say. Sometimes it's not the question you ask, it's the delivery of how you asked it, because you asked the exact same question. What don't I know about you that someone else doesn't know? Like, you know what I mean? She asked the same question and P.O. asked, but it is the way you ask it, the context of how you ask it, all of that, okay? All of that, all right? That's all important as well. Okay, then we also had AP and Demetrius. Listen, we got to see a bit more of Demetrius, but I'm going to be honest with you. This whole episode, I didn't really see Demetrius, and what he's... Who is Demetrius? I don't know who's Demetrius. I don't know who Demetrius is. Okay? Now, we got a little bit more of him. I know he spoke to AP. Come on, man. Come on now. I don't know what's going on there. Come on. I don't know what's going on there with Demetrius. But then we had AP. AP, listen, I'm just going to say one thing about AP. So, you're not Lois Lane, but the man can be Superman. Tell me how that works. Why did you use Superman as an example? Because Superman needs a Lois Lane. Okay, all right, listen, that's a wrong example. All right, choose somebody else as a superhero character to give as an analogy, because it was mad confusing. All I heard was he can be Superman, but I ain't no Lois Lane. Basically, I don't need to be saved. I don't need no one taking care of me or whatever. And if that's the case, babe, then you don't actually need us either. You don't need us at all. You're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place, AP. All right, cool. Then we had a pool party. We had a party hard. We had Eric in his element. We had Demetrius finally coming up to Sabrina. We had Dekia finally meeting Donovan. Tina was talking to Paul. Eric was feeding Dekia, which then turned into a massive thing with Carmen, who then went and put the paws on Eric and made sure she put the paws on Dekia. Made sure Dekia knew how it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with me. Don't mess with me. I'm about that life. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to get them. When you hear that noise, that means you know what I mean when you do that. Okay, that's what Carmen was bringing to the table. Okay, she ready for that beef. You feel me? All right, and then we had Tori and Sabrina. Tori was feeling Sabrina, like he's come out the woodworks now. Like he bought her cupcakes. She loves the fact that he's transparent in regards to the fact that Demetrius isn't. So I don't know what Demetrius is doing, but he isn't doing enough. Because old girl told him, listen, my friend, let me let you know, gotta let you know that you ain't as transparent as our boy Tori here. I'm just saying, that's what she said. So it's gonna be definitely a hot race. Precious and Demetrius as well had a conversation. Demetrius was trying to basically call her out for being a bit too much partying and the fact that she's too much and he's not gonna be for him. And then Demetrius and Sabrina finally had a conversation. He let her know that he's coming after her. But again, there wasn't really much that was kind of spoken about. I don't know what's going on. They accused Laverne of having a god complex. Okay. We had Joy and Clifton kind of talk, and they got into a sexual innuendo once again. I'm like, again? Okay, cool. And then the deliberation was wild. Wiley says Christina, he's feeling Christina, which is cool. Eric can't stop thinking about Dekia. Donovan likes Dekia. Demetrius likes Sabrina, which we all knew. Tori likes Sabrina. Demetrius then said it's gonna be a battle between the two of them, and then we had Clifton saying he feeling Joy, but he likes Carmen. I said, it's gonna be tight because now Laverne likes Joy too. I'm telling you, I told you guys that y'all were out here getting excited about the Clifton and Joy thing, and I said to you, don't let the coconut allergies that he got fool you, okay? Don't get played out here by the player. Nothing wrong with him. He's open, okay? Him and Joy, I appreciate them, but he's open. All right. So let me get my first person onto the stage. Listen, guys, if you want to join the conversation, we're open for the next 50 minutes. After that, but it closes and I get my super panel on. So if you want to join, you want to have a conversation, you want to have your say, you know what, hit me up down below. We need cameras on though, just to let you know. Okay. So if you come up here, please don't tell me now, oh, I've got, listen, we need cameras on, okay? I don't care if you've got your Erica Badu not going on top of your head, we don't mind. Come as you are, just like the Bible says, okay? We appreciate you. All right, cool. Let me get my first guest on so we can get the talking on, do you know what I'm saying? And we'll see what Guan they are. Cheers! All right, cool. Let me get Krista on. Baby, hello, sis. What up? What up? What up? Let me put my headphones in so that I don't make you. That's it. Yes, sis. How you doing? You right? Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, world?
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
What's good, baby?
we got some stuff to uncover. Oh my god,
What kind of stuff we need to uncover? Talk to me.
that show! I told y'all last week. This is not ready to love. This is ready to hook up.
I hear that.
They switching it up this season.
Trust me.
I mean, but the women that came into the party, body yaddy yaddy. I can't hate on them. They let it all hang out. But anyways, what's up, beautiful world? This is your girl, Crystal, or, in the chat, you'll hear me say Kiss Chanel. Either one is perfectly fine. Just don't call me out my name. And I'm glad that you all are on, and we're ready to get into it.
I love that. I love that. Who do you want to start with? Who's the strongest? Who's the strongest kind of thoughts that you're on? Like who on the show you thought to yourself, I just need to talk about this one. This Saturday I gotta talk about it. Like who was it for you?
I'm gonna have to say it was Precious.
Okay.
And not for not for the positivity. Like I believe in classy, sassy, and a little bit nasty, but not all in public. Okay. And with my profession, I don't know her profession, I don't remember, because she's not that memorable to me, but I can't be just busting it open wide on the big screen. But maybe her profession does not care for that. But all she needed to do was be like, hey, yo, shorty, once you go get a bag of the lead through, I'll be undressed in the bra or see through, because that's how she was coming in. Like, I'm like, oh gosh, and whoever was gonna catch it, she was gonna do her thing. That's how I felt. Maybe that's not her intent. But like she said, it's been 6 months. I think 6 seconds, because she, I don't know, maybe the COVID, got to her or something. But I would like to start with that, because I don't really feel like that is, pretty ladylike on the screen. Just whatever penis is going to grab it, she with it, and that tells me, well, what else do you have to give down there? Is something else going on that you got sharing? Because you just don't seem to care.
Yeah, I've definitely hear you. I mean, she did say 6 months. Sorry, six. Yes, she said 6 months. 6 months or 6 weeks.
She said 6 months, Coach. She
Whew.
said
no. I was gonna.
She
I
said
don't know why.
months. I don't know if that was masked or unmasked. But she definitely said 6 months. I'm just a little concerned on the perception that she is portraying. Again, a lot of people say, oh, I don't care what people think, but at the end of the day, you kind of do. You still kind of do care what people think, and I just don't think that was a good look for her. It looks like she's looking for relations and not relationship. And I just want to throw a little cliffhanger out there too. If a guy was coming at her that strong, would that had still been acceptable? And I could kind of probably answer that myself. The answer would probably be no. That would not be as acceptable. They would call him thirsty, all type of names and stuff. And half of her booty cheeks was hanging out at the pool party. So maybe she was a little drunk or something. But remember when she met the first guy for the blind date?
Mm.
She was throwing it and he wasn't catching it. I
No.
mean, he wasn't even flirting back for her to even get an inkling that he, wanted to take it there with her. So screams a little desperation um,
Mm.
to me. But I'm a
Okay.
different type of girl. I like the guy to chase me, and I catch what he's throwing to me. And boy, will I catch it. But guess it's a little different. But it could be
Okay.
why I'm single and she's on the show.
Mm. Hey, listen, I'm hearing you loud and clear. I'm hearing you loud and clear. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Dawn, what's your thoughts? Thank you very much, Crystal. What's your thoughts to Precious and her particular behavior? Is there a reason why potentially she's moving with such sexual energy?
Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope y'all had a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to say I'll be undressed in the bra or see through. Anyway, for those who know, who know. Okay, I took notes. I
Mm.
took notes. I watched this episode not once but twice, and I took notes. Shout out to Crystal Lynette in the chat. She said, "Do women know how to flirt, but
Mm.
leave some mystery?" So
Ooh.
that is going to be my sermon topic today
Okay.
because this was the episode of the throw it back and sneaky links.
Mm.
That's what this episode was giving me, the throw it back or sneaky links. Precious, 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 precious. You know what I think? I think what it is that people forget that they're still being taped.
Mm.
I'm assuming when you're doing these, reality TV shows that the cameras somehow, some way fade away and people's true selves come out because she was wilding. Precious was really wilding. I think that with Precious, do we really know who she is? Do we really know, like, this is what, episode number 4? I still don't feel like I really know these people. I don't feel that people really are being authentic or really opening up. With Precious, Donovan look horrified. With the innuendos that she was making, he really looked horrified. um the date with Demetrius and AP, I want to say this, and God, please let me say it in love. I don't think AP is ready. I really don't think that AP is ready to love. And I understand that she's a widow, but I still think that she's in the healing stages because I know people who have been widowed and widowers, and they will say, well, I'm a widow, but they keep that brief. You know what I'm saying? Because they've healed or they're in the process of healing and they're on a date. And you could tell with Demetrius that he was, he kind of pulled back, when she went into, her story about how her husband suddenly died. The same thing with Chef Bay with Kevin. I really don't think that AP is ready to love. Dakia, I wanna be a, she just shined this episode. Like, I love Dakia. I just love her spirit. I love how she just vibes with the men. I don't think Carmen is a villain. I just think Carmen is a mean girl, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that. It's fine. You want to come in the kitchen, you want to talk to Kevin, that's fine, do you, but why do you have to throw shade at another sister? But if anybody heard this, she was a client of Kevin's years ago. So, Carmen, had Kevin wanted to get with you, he knew the door was open, but obviously he didn't walk through it. So the fact that y'all are both on the show doesn't mean he necessarily wants you, because he could have been had that. Okay. So let's be clear on that. Um, Clifton, I was surprised that, Carmen was one of his top people, especially when he called her, baby Jesus with the blue eye contacts. But Carmen to me is one of those people. She leads with her sexuality, and Clifton is about that life. Um, who else? Tori and Sabrina. I told y'all last week, Sabrina doesn't like people who don't like her. I told y'all that last week. Sabrina does not like people who do not like her. Plumberry, he's strategic. He's practicing dark arts, because here's what I feel with Plumberry. What I feel is he doesn't really have any real connections. I think that he was hoping that he and AP would make a connection, but after AP basically went on about being a widow, it was kind of a downer. How do you really get romantic or really get intimate with somebody, with the memory of that person's, husband, in between you? And I really feel like he is only, because Sabrina said it, this is so unlike Demetrius for him to approach me. He's one to sit back and let you approach him, right? And I just feel like Demetrius was like, Sabrina is my only connection. Let me amp it up with her. Let me try to, really make that connection with her. Because I think that Demetrius sees that Sabrina likes people who don't like her. You know, you see Tori, getting her some cupcakes, getting her little, thoughtful token or whatever. Not one, but two cupcakes. That's right. And you still are, geeking off of somebody who really doesn't like you. It's obvious he doesn't really like you like that, I should say. Loretta, aka Laverne. I don't know. Laverne is something else. Once again, Loretta, aka Laverne, was being negative, because when Demetrius was talking to him, he was like, I don't see you, socializing. Oh, I'm going to let them come to me. I'm going to let them come to me. And then if y'all notice, in that scene, he points to somebody, and he says, this person ain't, he ain't ish. And it's just like, what kind of time are you on, bruh? Like, what kind of time are you on? Like, why are you so negative? Like, you really are negative. One of my favorite scenes on this episode was Wiley and Tina. I love Wiley. He was giggling and giddy. I really liked that scene. And we'll see what happens. This was a really good episode. We'll talk about Uncle Daddy Popo later. We'll talk about Uncle Daddy Popo later.
I want to chime in about Sabrina when we have a chance, because you made a good point, Dawn.
Go for it, Crystal. You can go for it.
Okay, so I love that you brought that up, because I was thinking about last week's conversation. So she confirmed exactly what we thought on this panel, that she, you know, it wants Demetrius, but he's not the one who's going to come up to you. And she said that in her little outtake, that he doesn't typically come up to you. So why would you want somebody who can't typically come up and say hi to you? I'm just, that's confusing to me, and then she was just so happy finally for him to speak to her. And I think that screams long term, there would be issues, even if they continued on this process. That's going to scream some real issues. With the cupcakes, there were two missing. Okay. And I know they didn't come from the grocery store, so I'm pretty sure they had all that butter in it. And I do like my little sweets. So I was like, ooh, what flavors were those? I was a little curious. But it was only two in there, but that still was thoughtful enough. I guess you can't be getting all the crumbs on the shirt during the party. But even still, I don't seem that she felt like that was sweet. And I thought it was kind of sweet. She acknowledged it on the outtake. Wow, you're the first one who actually got me something. But she likes who don't like her. And I would agree with Dawn with that for sure. It's not a good look.
Yeah, definitely. I think with Sabrina, just watching herself, Demetrius, and Tori. I mean, Tori, put some effort in, to really make himself visible to Sabrina. I can almost bet that her sights are still with Demetrius. I think Sabrina, I'm not saying Sabrina's a game player. I just think Sabrina likes what she likes. I think Demetrius is someone that she likes, and she knows he's not going to move. So Tori's a perfect motivator for Demetrius to get off his ass and start being actually proactive rather than being reactive. And so, yeah, when Demetrius came over and he was like, I'm here for you, that's lovely. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I have to be on Sabrina's side on this one. Like, that's lovely, but sir, we're gonna need to see some activity from you, right? Because last few times we've seen you, I haven't really been active. You know what I'm saying? Like, so look, you can be deep as you want, you can be as beautifully looking as you want, well presented as you want, but sir, we're gonna need some activity from you. We're gonna need some pursuit from you. We're gonna need some intentionality, as we keep hearing on the show. Intentionality. I'm intentional about how I move. Well, let's see that. You know what I mean? Because right now the camera ain't called nothing. Camera ain't called nothing. The camera's looking at you, and we ain't seen nothing apart from today, where you came over to her to say you wanna. It's her for you. You know what I mean? So it may be that he's a bit more quieter, but we just need to see a bit more. Do you know what I mean? We need to see a bit more from him. But I think Sabrina is somebody who, I don't want to say that she wants to see two men fight over her, literally. I think she just wants, she's doing what princesses do with knights. Whoever's the strongest collects me, kind of thing. And the two people that are chasing after her are Demetrius and Tori, and it's gonna be like, well, the best man win. But I think she has her favor with Demetrius. Maybe we'll see what happens. Yeah, go for Crystal and then Dawn.
So, and I may be missing out on a few guys, but these are the two that scream that they like women to chase them, or they think their shit don't stink. Is Plum Soup, which is Demetrius, and Miss Laverne. They both seem that they want the women to chase them. And to me, that also comes across that these are the same type of guys, or the personality that they're showing us is the same one who will say later on, you're demasculating me and, etc. But you know what? You're giving me feminine energy by you're waiting, looking cute and expecting me to come over and, come up to you and be all up in your face all the time. And that's what Laverne did in the first episode. I mean, he had his own little section for women to come up to him. That is what he's looking for. And he needs that ego stroke desperately. He needs it all the time. If you're not catching it back, he's going to throw it even more. Just like on the date with Sabrina, talking about, he in the hole and in the middle. I mean, like, all right, what more you got? I mean, do you have anything else? Is there any other substance to you besides what your penis looks like and how you could blow my back out? I mean, come on. And these are not teenagers and people who haven't experienced anything in life. And also a red flag with him, he said he hasn't had any relationships, essentially. So you've had relations, which means you're a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn. So is that still going to work 5 years from now? Is that ED, erectile dysfunction, going to kick in because you have spread it yourself so thin? What does sex mean to you? Because to me, intimacy is phenomenal when you have that real connection with someone, or you just banging to get your nut off and that's it. That's why you don't have no connections. I mean, I could see him saying, you know what, I've had some relationships that just didn't work out. That happened to all of us, at some point in time in our lives. But he just pretty much said no. It's, he ain't Wiley. Wiley's what, 32, the youngest out of the bunch? Come on. You could do better than that. Dear Black men, let's get it together. We always support you. We have your back. Give us more than just some penis.
Definitely hear you on that. Definitely hear you on that. Dawn, what's your thoughts?
Well, what I think is that Plumberry is not really going to have to put in any sweat equity where Sabrina's concerned. So y- I I think she's definitely somewhat of a gamma woman where she wants to be pursued and she has this fairy tale ideation of romance and someone coming to get her. But what I find with uh those of us who have those ideations, for some reason, even though we say that's what we want, we always end up going after the Demetriuses of the multi-universe because there's something alluring, there's something mysterious, there's something intriguing about the Demetriuses. So even though her ideation is, oh, I want to be swept off my feet, I want someone who can slow me down and all this other nonsense, that's not in her heart or in her thinking who she really wants, like MC Light said, if it ain't rough it ain't right. Some people, they just, if the road to Damascus is not hard, you know it's a problem. And I just think that Sabrina is like that. um One of the things for me is a lot of people bandy about the word vulnerable. I believe in being personable, and there's a difference. I'm personally not going to lay myself bare as I'm getting to, when I first meet you. We can be personable, but the vulnerability, to me, there has to be a trust element there. And, you know, I don't believe in oversharing, So I kind of understand to a certain extent, people holding back, but then again, people are not asking the right questions. I want to give a shout out to Joy when she was on her date with Laverne. She asked Laverne, "What's the one thing that people don't know about you, or that people don't know, or something to that effect?" And that was a fantastic question. Um, you have to ask the right questions. You want to get to know someone on a deeper level. Ask the right questions. Last episode somebody asked Paul, you know what was the 10-year-old Paul like, and he answered that question. You have to ask. If you want to get to know someone, learn how to really ask those questions. um I just I'm just cracking up with Laverne because it's like he is a textbook classic case. What worked for you before may not work for you again, because the first episode he sat there like a king and the women came to him. And I guess as they got to know him, or whatever, it's like, nah, bruh, you got to put in some sweat equity. What are you here for? What is your end game? What is your purpose? Why are you here? You know, are you here to find love? Are you here to find the connection? Like, what is going on? So that was really interesting. What was going on for him. And I think that we need to get to a point, if you are finding love, if you are interested in someone and they're telling you how they like to be pursued, it's up to you whether you can do it or not. If you really like that person and they're not asking for a lung or a kidney, and it's not putting your convictions or your faith in jeopardy, then why not do it? If you uh if the person you want is a person that likes to be pursued a little, ask the question, well, what does that look like? What does that look like for you? Because a lot of people are using the word pursued, but it means different things to different people. When I say I like to be pursued, it means, you know, for me personally, I like you to call me. I like you to text message me on a, on a daily basis if we're feeling each other like that. That's what it means, for me. It may mean something different to someone else. But I just say that to say, I just see a lot of people like, oh, well, why should this person, why should the fellas pursue? Because that's what the women are asking you to do, and you're on this show to find love. So if your connection is asking you to pursue them, don't assume that you know what the pursuit of happiness is for them. Ask them, what does it look like? And then ask yourself, is that something I'm comfortable with? If it's not something you're comfortable with, then fine, then say so. But I just feel like if we're really serious about finding love, you have to put that pride aside and just try something different. That's all.
I love your points that you've made, Don. Even the Joy and Laverne situation, but she didn't let him finish. She cut him off. So she added, "Oh, was it because you had a fear or something like that?" Should have let him finish because
And
we
I
don't
said
know,
that.
right? We don't know if he was going to say that or not. And to me, he's a calculated type of guy. That's how
All
I
she
see.
had to do was ask him, Laverne, what does that mean?
Yep, and that's it. And let
And
him
let him finish.
answer. She may have liked the answer, may have said, "Oh, you know what? I get that," or she could have said, "This ain't something I want to go down with." I also think too, when it comes to pursuit or how somebody wants to be loved, I also agree that it's what you have the capability to do. But I don't want to give you the whole playbook because at the end of the day, no, I'm not married, but I've had friends that are married and they always say, "Well, always thought my husband liked to travel because you told him in the beginning you like to travel. And to get you, he traveled with you. Then once he had you, he tell you I don't like to travel. I don't want to spend money on trips." So my thing is, what do you like? Tell me what you like. Not to be like Coming to America, whatever you like, but tell me and allow me to make that conscious choice to say, you know what, I have those tools and I have that desire to do those things. But if I tell you everything that I like, you're going to do it to get me and vice versa. That's not really authentic. Let's mesh and see where that takes us because I'm looking for long term, not short term. And so therefore when the discussion comes about who's paying what in the house. Finances are huge. Nobody's talked about that. I don't need to know your salary, but what do you feel about finances? Love doesn't pay the light bills. I do not want to sit in my house dark. I could do that single. I don't want to do that with you. I'm not going to feel so lovey dovey. I don't like sugar flakes. I like frosted flakes. Can we still afford Kellogg's? Because if not, I can stay by myself. I don't need to be in a relationship to be brought down. We should have personal goals and relationship goals. And that is the mature Crystal. That wasn't Crystal 10, 15 years ago. That wasn't me. I didn't think like that, nor did I have anyone to teach me that. My father had died, by the time I was 17, and my mom just did not teach me those type of things. To date with intent, and dating doesn't mean screwing. You can date multiple people to know what you like, where you want to go in life, and then decide to have relations should you and intertwine. And I feel like allow that guy to express his thoughts. You may like it or you may not like it, and vice versa. And I'm not really seeing that here. Not every guy is saying that he's been hurt and battered. It may just be that's what he liked. Demetrius was saying that when they were sitting in the chairs with the guys, and he said something like, he vowed like relationships for just sex at that time, and That was his truth. And I respect it because that's what he said. But now are you ready for something different? Who knows? I guess we're going to see.
Yeah, man, I love that. I love the conversation between yourself and Dawn as well, because I was just listening and just trying to take in a bit of the information as well that you guys are bringing. Sorry, you ladies are bringing to the table, because I think as you both kind of mentioned here, when people, everyone's kind of saying intentional, 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 but we're not seeing much intentional conversation, right? Which is what you're both highlighting here. That unfortunately, for what we can see anyway, it may be that they're having more intentional conversations behind the scenes, whatever. But from what we can see, I'm not seeing that with the people on the show. And this is why I think I get frustrated sometimes, because it's really important for those questions that you ladies were even talking about, because that's what gets us to a point of being ready to love. Right? Because we're now getting to grips of deeper aspects of a relationship, the tenets of a relationship, the pillars of the relationship. Because everything else is great. It's surface. It is a tabletop. But without the legs, this ain't going nowhere. We're gonna be on the floor, okay? And some of these questions that are being asked, all right, are table talk. They're the surface. They're the tabletop. Not necessarily, it's not necessarily to do with the structure of how your relationship could be looking like in the future. And I think this is where potentially we have to put a bit more onus necessarily not on the show, but the people on the show. Because you guys are in control of what kind of conversations you guys are having. So you're right, when you pointed out Laverne and Joy, in fact, I'll point out Laverne and Joy, I'll point out Clifton and Joy. Again, and they're not the only sinners here, please. There's, I think every cast member is pretty much doing it. We're not seeing anything. We're not seeing anything of that type of conversation. It quickly descends into, you know what? I saw your panty line. Oh, you know what? Your bald head, I don't mind rubbing it. Okay. You know what? Your shoulder looking sexy. Like, it quickly descends into mayhem. You know what I mean? And this is cool. It's good to see them vibing and good to see them flirting. We love to see that. That's quite good. But let's see some deeper conversations. What do you know? Let's see, and that's what I loved. I loved it, but didn't kind of love it. I wish Demetrius went a bit further. When he was talking to Precious, it was a great moment to maybe press a little bit deeper, to get behind everything that he was seeing. Like, yo, Precious, I'm seeing you, with the energy, the craziness, and he said to her, listen, I'm a person that likes to get, I want to get beyond the surface. Why not take her away and get to know her a little bit more? Because it's possible. Because Tori did it, right? Her and Tori had a really deep conversation the first night. It's possible. So it's like, we're not being intentional. We're just choosing people. That's not intentionality, right? That's you just saying, I like somebody and I'm choosing to go with them. That's not really being intentional. Intentional means crafting, and really bringing together your vision of what you see for your future with somebody. And that's what we need to see. You know what I mean? That's what we want to see from them. So, intentional questions that are leading towards a particular purpose of what we're seeing. Not just any question, but questions that are leading towards a final kind of goal. Do you know what I mean? What was your ladies' kind of thoughts around AP Demetrius conversation? Because that specifically was a very interesting conversation. Go for it, Crystal, and then Dawn can go for it.
So part of it, I think she may not be ready to love, not because she's not healed, because she says she did the work, but because who can measure up to her husband? Okay, she made it very clear that their relationship was good. I believe she has 2 children with him, and he was her knight in shining armor, right? So her expectation, which it should be, is way up there. And these guys, like Demetrius, I don't think he would have it in him not to be better than her previous husband, but to even meet that expectation. Like Dawn kind of said, she likes someone who will call and text her. So do I. But for some people, that's a big expectation. To me, it's a load of crap. Everybody got a phone. There's no excuse why you can't even drop a line and say hello or whatever. If I'm that girl, don't you want to know if I'm doing okay? Don't you want to hear my voice? But I don't want to beg you to do that. That doesn't make me feel good. So by her explaining her husband to people, it's because they've also asked her in so many words, like, what was your last relationship? And then Demetrius even went as far as saying, oh, are you affectionate or something like that? You know, she's like, no, I really am. You know, so I think just because she didn't say she had trauma and issues doesn't mean that she's not fully ready to love, but maybe she's going to have a hard time in this group setting of gentlemen to get someone who is going to be there for her and her long term, because her experience is different. She doesn't need to she doesn't need anyone to show her what love feels like. She is explaining that she had that and it was tragically, unexpectedly taken away from her. I think because she said 5 years ago, perhaps something like that. Um, and that is difficult because she had no closure. You know what I mean? It was done and it was over with. Where she doesn't have that chance to see him walk through that door, unfortunately. So I don't really feel like she should be ambushed by that. You know, however, I don't, if I look at the lineup, I can't say that I see anyone that could be that guy for her. Only one I could kind of think of is Fernando, but he's gone, and maybe Chef Bay Eric. But other than that, I don't see that. And so I probably feel like she probably will go home. It might be out of her. It's going to be out of her and Precious. There's no ifs and buts about it. Is what I think. But maybe she might go home for that, and then Precious is going the next time if she doesn't straighten up with the looseness.
Definitely hearing that. What's your thoughts, Dawn?
Yeah, okay, Chanel. That's a good point that maybe it's a situation of her comparing other men to her husband. Um and to me that is, you're not ready to love. If you're still comparing, other men or to your deceased husband, yeah, I don't think you're ready. I don't think that what she's looking for is in this space. I don't think personally that what AP, she's a lovely woman, beautiful, and she seems just real balanced and a sweet spirit. I just don't think that the choice of man uh is in this space. I'm by no means am I saying she should never speak about, her husband or never talk about him. That's not, what I'm saying at all. To me, in that segment, it just seemed like when she was talking about her husband, there was still some residual pain because it came without warning. And everyone's different, but for me, there are things, you know, in my past that I thought would break me into pieces that now I could talk about it like it ain't nothing. That's how how you heal when somebody that crushed your heart, stomped on it, hurt you, tore you into pieces, and you could really see them and smile and give them a hug and be like, "How you doing? How's your mama doing?" That's how you know when you heal. So I don't know if she's completely healed. It's not for me to legislate, her heart. It just seemed to me in that segment that it was just really kind of awkward. It was an awkward date. And I know that she's a very quiet spirit, but she just doesn't seem, like joyful, in a way. Not only with Plumberry, but also when she went on the date with Clifton, it, there just didn't seem this element of, yo, I'm happy to be here. I don't know if, my beloved is in this space, but I'm happy to be sitting with you. It just really, it seemed just kind of heavy, but I like AP nonetheless. I like AP.
Yeah, I think with AP, I said that that she could be potentially be ready to love, but definitely not ready to love TV show. I think this show has a particular format requires you to be dating several people at once. I don't think this is a show for you, baby. I don't think this is a show for you. This is not a show for somebody who fell in love with their husband. You know, husband looked after them, etc., etc. And you had a great time. It seems like, and you were in for a long time, and unfortunately, he passed away suddenly. I don't think this is a show necessary to come on and find that same husband. Listen, you've seen a track, and I say this time and time again. You've seen a track record of Ready to Love, and you see your husband. Did you think that you're gonna find that man here? And plus, your husband was 15 years older than you, baby. He's almost 60 at this point. So it would have been, what I'm saying, like, you're looking for someone now 15 years older than you, or even 10 years older than you. The only person you're looking at is Paul. Like, everyone else is younger than you. Like, this ain't the show for you, baby. Okay, and the last few seasons we've not had anybody. As it's been Paul. I remember another gentleman in Alexis's season a few seasons back. He was quite suave and older as well. There's not been many people that have been older gentlemen. It's always like one person on the show. So if AP, and I say this all the time, everyone here is an entrepreneur, everyone here is a business owner. You do not enter business without doing research. I am more than sure, if you tell me you went onto the show without researching the show, I'm going to look at you strangely. Because you do business, you research your background before you go into it. You've got an entrepreneurship. You need to even be careful what show you're going onto. How would this affect your brand? So you can't tell me you don't know nothing about the show. Also, I'm really thinking then when it comes to love, you just have blinkers up. Then by all means, yeah, your love life, that's why it's getting shocked, because you're not doing the background checking. No, it's real. Like, we have to think about it, because you run businesses. You don't run business by just starting up a business. You do your research. You do your development, research and development behind the scenes before you put out your product or your service. She's a coach. You know what I mean? You'd research this. You have an audience. You know who it's going out to. So this might not have been the show I'm thinking for her to start doing the dating. I could be wrong. She may have thought that, when she came on the show, she was ready to do it. You know what I mean? But I don't think the show was right for her particular perspective. You know what I'm saying? Dawn, what are you telling me?
Yeah, so I'm seeing in the chat someone said, and there's truth to it, that the pain never goes away when you have lost a loved one. And I understand that. My mother and my father were together for 60 years before my father passed away. You know what I'm saying? I still have, pain. She still has pain, but there is a level of joy when you're healed and healing. And I'm not saying that AP doesn't have that. I just didn't see that. Like, for people that I know who, and they come from all different walks of life. I had a friend who was in her 30s that lost her husband. You have older women who, their husbands went before them. You have people that, lost their spouses. There is an element of when you're healed and healing, like there is that element of joy. Like, yeah, you miss your spouse, you miss your partner, but I'm still out here in these streets. I'm still living. When I speak of them, there is an element of joy that, for me, and I'm just saying for me, that I really, that I did not get, from AP. You know, I just think that, based on the circumstances, I don't think that this show is for her. And you're 100% correct, coach, because it's like, she's in the healing arts, or whatever have you. So I have to think she did her due diligence. And the show also tells you, what it's about, or whatever the case may be. And maybe she just said, you know what, I'm just going to get baptized by fire. Let me just go on this show, and just get baptized by fire, or whatever the case may be. I just feel like this space is not where, not only that she's not going to find what she needs in this space. I just don't think she need to be in this space at all. Be,
She may not ever be, really, because
right.
I do know someone personally. He died 1999, and she still kept his pictures up. Hadn't remarried, but still kept his pictures up of her previous. So maybe sometimes that person is just an impact. But I got a solution. I may be writing Tommy because he needed to just move on up to the East Coast. The South and this Merlin type of thing ain't cutting it. Call up to New York if you listening, Tommy Miles. New York Metro. Where Brooklyn at, where the 10 boots at, construction, because this is not, it's not, look at Dawn talk about, no. But I mean, this is ready for relations. And I think if we're going to look at relations, there's a lot of cute couples out here, right? There's a lot of cute couples on this season that I think will make some steamy, fun times. But I don't know of long term. I don't see that just yet. And I'm maybe, it's gonna change. We're like what, midway now, I guess you could say, midpoint here. And Tommy is stopping the game show vibes now. Because he said he's not adding anyone else into it. Maybe they tried to spice it up and give the audience a little something more. But your diehard people who watch the show from the day one, we're going to stay watching the show. So maybe it was to gain more viewers. Maybe they lost some to try to give a little spice in the life, but I think it gave game show, and you are dealing with people's lives. So, and people's hearts, and that can, rejection hurts of any kind. So I'm glad now that that's over, so he says. And let's see now if we're going to see some more connections. And if not, it makes good for TV. I mean, I ain't on the show, so they ain't my friends. So it makes good for TV for Friday. But I hope somebody, develops some real connections past the show also.
Quick question. How many episodes this season?
Not exactly 100% sure, to be honest. Not exactly sure. Last season we had what? How
Um,
many? How many did we have last season? Like 12, 13 episodes last season.
and the only reason I'm asking, if it's 10 episodes, then we're at the halfway mark.
Yeah, we almost
So
there.
I'm
Almost
I'm
there.
thinking that, Uncle Tommy was like, okay, I'm not doing any musical chairs, bringing any new people in, because now, like he said, it's quality over quantity. So everybody's trying to shore up the line as far as their connections are concerned. So I was just wondering about that. I agree with K Chanel. A lot of people are just on, I'm enjoying this season. Thank God I'm enjoying the season. Like I can follow the storyline or whatever the case may be. And it seems like this group as a whole is very mature, to a certain degree. But I really haven't seen people who really are acting as if they're looking for a real authentic connection. A lot of people are giving lip service, but they're not, their actions and their behavior to me are not parallel to them saying like, yes, I'm trying to find a real connection, um as far as that. And just going back to what we were talking about earlier about pursuing, um I saw something in the chat where people said it's not the 1950s. When I say pursue, I'm not just talking about men pursuing women. I'm talking about us pursuing each other, because it is a reciprocal thing. What I am saying is that if you are interested in someone and they say, man or woman, I like to be pursued, as a certified grown person that's interested in that person, you need to ask them what does that look like? And then again, ask yourself, is this something I feel comfortable doing? Is this person worthy of me coming out of my comfort zone doing it? What is the risk versus reward? Is it really worth it? Because the end game is to find love. And sometimes when you're trying to find love, whether it be in a space of ready to love, or Kojo gave his testimony last week how he competed and how he didn't realize how invigorating competing is, even though he got the girl and didn't want her. You know, you have to do something different to get something different. So that's what I was basically trying to say. I just wanted to.
Nothing
I
wrong with that.
totally
Nothing wrong with that at all. I think people should be. I think the men should be pursuing. I don't think that should. I don't think that should necessarily change. I don't think. Men haven't changed in that department. The biology of a man and the mental thought process hasn't really changed. So yes, we should still see men pursuing and coming after women. I don't think that should change. Strategic position has always been the action of a woman, and it doesn't change now. How it appears may be different because we have social media and everything like that. But strategic position is still the same thing, right? Of course, there are going to be women that can pursue, right? But they're in the minority. And I mean the minority, okay? That men are going to enjoy that. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for actual relationship where you want it to flourish, you want it to work, most times you do want the man to pursue. You want the man to come after the women. So absolutely. We don't want. It's not 1950s. It's 2022. But those men haven't changed. You know what I mean? The minds of those men haven't changed. So Dawn, you're still right in terms of the pursuit. So that hasn't changed in a sense at all. Go for it, Crystal.
You know what I like about the pursuit? I don't have to question it,
Mm.
right? I don't have to wonder if you really like me or if you don't. Because you're pursuing me and you're giving me that feedback. And I'm going to give that to you also. I don't believe in just making a guy do everything and you see him calling, you just ignore him purposely. I don't believe in playing with people's heart. For me, in this is something that I do not just in an intimate relationship, but in friendship, or family, of relationship of any kind is basically what I'm saying is where I stand. If I'm happy, you know it. If I don't really like something that's going on, if I feel it's a big deal, I'll talk to you about it. If not, I usually let it go. And if I have to keep talking and we're just not clicking as far as communicating, then I'm going to slide over to the left. Because again, I don't have time to continue to just keep wasting on anybody. you know we should be able to communicate, and even if you don't like something that I said, and if it's in my capacity to fix it, I will. And I'll make sure that I'm not doing those things to hurt you, because I'm not in the business of hurting anyone, right? I've been hurt numerous situations. I know how that pain feels. I know how it feels to be rejected. I know how it feels to be disappointed on many different levels, not just an intimacy level. So to me, I feel like when I'm coming through, I'm coming in and I'm showing up and I'm showing out, right? I'm giving you exactly who you see right here on this screen. This is who I am. I'm punctual, I'm thorough, and I'm trying to move on to my best self each and every day. I'm trying to do that, and I need positive vibes that match that vibe, whatever that may be. You don't have to do the same goals as me, but match that vibe. And so again, I don't if I was on the show, I don't see anybody that I could really say, wow, I think that's who I really would want. Like, I'm not picking up on that, at all. I mean, I guess I would just be playing the game. Hopefully maybe somebody come through, but I don't really see that mature love that I'm looking for. I'm 39, I'll be 40 in June. I'm not really seeing that fully, not just yet. And hopefully, again, like I keep saying, hopefully we're going to see that, you know. But I don't see it just yet.
Love that. Love that. Let's talk a little bit about another particular set of people on the show because I think watching the show and Carmen Carmen came in with the pulse. She said, "Wow." Came in there and said, Dakia, you're going to have to leave this kitchen. I'm going to turn the heat all the way up, okay? And if you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, as they say, there you go. So I want to get kind of your thoughts on Carmen coming in and, bulldozing her opponents in this particular aspect with Dakia. Is it all fair in love and war, or was Carmen doing a bit too much? What's your thoughts, Dawn? What's she saying?
Okay. I knew Carmen was trouble when she first came on the show with that weekender bag that she was using as a purse. I knew she was trouble. Um, Carmen, okay, here's my thing. It is all fair in love and war to a certain extent. I don't like when people feel that they have to downgrade another person in order to justify their actions. I don't like it. It's not cute. It's unnecessary. And it says more about your lack of confidence than it says about the person you're trying to be disrespectful about. Um, we've seen that before. We've seen that in episodes before where, somebody is, I mean, we saw it last season, you know. Hey Sabrina, Seol, if you're in the chat. We saw it last season, with Mumine and, Walter and Sabrina. We saw how people try to bulldoze or whatever. But I give maximum respect to Dakia because Dakia is very confident. She already got the confirmation she needed from Chef Kevin. Like, as far as I'm concerned, we're already in a relationship, so we can get to the nitty gritty of how we're going to deal with disagreements, later. And, what some women fail to realize, and, K Chanel touched on this last episode, is people watch your speech. They listen to your speech, I should say, and how you treat other people. So it didn't seem like Chef Kevin was very comfortable with the way that Carmen came in. Again, editing could play a part, but you saw the rolling of the eyes and the walking around, like she was Zsa Zsa Gabor, around the kitchen, circling, twirling, around the kitchen, with the eyes or whatever. And you might think that, a man is glamored by that, but it really is a turnoff. And then again, like I said earlier, these two knew each other prior to the show. He private chefed for her for an event. So they've known each other. So the bottom line is, boo boo, uh if he had really wanted you like that, he knew the door was open. And it's not like he gonna walk through the door simply because y'all are on the show. He knew her before the show. So it's like if he thought you were attractive, then I have to think that he, unless he was married or in a commitment, or she was in a commitment or whatever, unless he was unavailable, I think he would have jumped on it, you know. Um yeah, so I really give maximum respect to Dakia for the way she handled it. She's like, "Yeah, you come and find me later," because she was very confident in her position. Like, okay, Chef Baby told me everything I needed to know before you came up in here trying to twirl or whatever. I got all the information that I needed, and I know that I'm, his strongest connection. So you go ahead and have your time. I know where I stand. So I really appreciated how she handled it. Because really, if the kid would have been like, "No, I'm not going nowhere. I'm gonna stay right here," and continue to talk to him, she would have looked like the bad person. She would have looked like the heavy. So I'm glad that she just was like, you know what, girl, I'm gonna let you have this. He told me everything that I needed to know, and peace out.
Facts. I love Dakia's vibe in that scene. She, you never, how they say, you don't let your competition know your feelings, or right hand know your left. And yes, she was irritated, but she just walked off classy with that. Let you have that. You know, but what I don't like is Eric being a little messy. So even when Carmen was like, "Oh, I'm your number one," and we riding out or something, she said, don't quote me on that, but she made a comment alluding to what's going to be going down. He could have simply said, "You know what, I want to discuss that," or "Girl, you know what, stop playing." He didn't have to say yes, because that's going to cause some messiness probably down the line in the deliberation room. I'm pretty sure, because that's what happens. So don't play the back and forth type of thing. He did acknowledge that, Carmen had hired him for an event. I hope he doesn't feel obligated to her because she put money in his pocket or something at one point in time. I mean, he is a chef, and he said celebrity chef, so it was some type of event. We can agree on that. But for her to even think it was something more, maybe we need more tea. And we may not find that tea until reunion time. Because why does she feel that comfortable? I don't feel that way. I've hosted plenty of events in my community. I don't feel that these guys or the school system owes me anything. So why does she think that? Did they have some type of flirting, some type of relations? What actually happened? Because he did say that. So it's like, I don't really like that he did that. But I love the Kia, how she handled that situation. Carmen came in with all her stuff out. She know what men like, or what that type of guy like, and he was looking. So we can't say that he wasn't looking. And he got a little nervous. So, I mean, she had it all out.
I definitely hear you.
I think I didn't hear her say that. I'm sure she did. I think with Carmen, she just has that barracuda man eater, vibe coming on. Like she just is gonna bulldoze or whatever the case may be. So I I think that who knows, they may have had a sneaky link, in the past. Who knows? you know Come reunion time, like you said, things may call, may come out. But to me, Carmen just comes off like, of course you want me. Why wouldn't you want me? Everybody wants me. You're crazy if you don't want me. She just gives me that Grace Jones vibe in Boomerang, where she couldn't believe Eddie Murphy could not possibly want her, because everybody, Strange, like, how could you not want me? How could you not want this? Type of vibe. So, like I said, I just, that's fine. She came in, she, did her little, blocking or whatever. I didn't like the comment that she made in her confessional, you know, uh, about Takia. That was unnecessary. You too grown for that, girl. You know what I'm saying? And they can't make you say stuff that you don't want to say. If so, you meant that. And yeah, Kevin should have been like 10 toes down. Not that you had to say, well, she's my number one, so don't be talking about her. But just, like, come on, Carmen, we're not gonna do that, like, chill, Carmen. But most men, when they get, most men, not all, but most men, when they get caught up in a situation like that, they be acting guilty even when they really don't have to. Like, like, he act like he was caught out there and there was no need to. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely hearing that. Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for hitting us up with some powerful stuff. I really love the part that we spoke about, especially about being intentional and kind of the questions and the conversation we should be having on the show, because I think that's a really important part of Ready to Love that maybe could be missing. And I don't say maybe it is missing, that we love to see it. I think people think that when we're saying we want to see more content, what we really mean, what is going to be boring. It's not boring when people are actually having genuine conversation and actually finding out important key facts about one another, right? We all watch Love is Blind here. They'd be asking those questions all day. Okay, the drama itself will come when people ignore some of those sentiments, right? So even though they're asking those questions, they ignore some of those feelings. So the drama will always come. You know what I mean? But we'd love to see maybe more of those kind of conversations happening maybe the next few go in the next few weeks, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, ladies, thank you so much. Crystal, Dawn, thank you so much. I guess we'll have you here again next week, kicking it off with fire as always. So I pretty much appreciate you, so thank you so much.
No Ready to Love in Brooklyn. We don't want nobody getting shot.
Listen.
No Ready to Love. No Ready to Love in Brooklyn. No, don't do it.
Thank you so much for having me on here, Kojo. The chat is live. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's Saturday where I'm at. East Coast time, 10:21, and y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all in here throwing it up in the chat, listening to us and giving us that wonderful feedback. So for me, peace and love. I hope to see y'all again.
Love that.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. The chat is lit on this good Saturday night, Coach. As always, it's a pleasure. K Chanel, you're like my sister in my head. I love everybody, and just have a wonderful week. And hopefully, we can do this again.
Come on now, we will. Next week we go again. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, ladies. Thank you so much. Love and peace.
Take care, everybody. Love and
Thank
peace.
You. Love and peace. Alrighty, guys. Listen. Listen. The conversation was flowing for me. Sometimes I know people think that I like to listen. So sometimes I like to hear different perspectives. So I was taking a little bit of a back seat, just kind of soaking in some of the good stuff that they were talking about. And when people are talking good, you just gotta let them talk, man. You know what I'm saying? Not every day hear your own voice. Sometimes let other people speak. Hey, what's good?
Mm-hmm. What up?
Damn, I didn't get the memo, bro. We on all black?
I didn't know we was in all black either.
Damn,
I'm in my line.
It's green. Black on black on black on black on black.
Well, I guess we got black and orange here, so orange and black.
Exactly.
I'm trying to represent my little bit of lime green that Sabrina keep trying to take away from me. Damn, sis, give me a break. Sheesh. I'm trying to stay on the lime green. She trying to wear bikinis like me and stuff. I'm having to look out my lime green.
Oh damn! Listen, it was a sexy episode. Listen, look, we're already talking about Carmen and Dakia, so I'll continue that line of thought with you guys. So Eric obviously came to Eric and Dakia looked like they were having a really good conversation. Looked like it was developing something. Connection was kind of, going somewhere. Oh, whose background is loud like that? Sorry, apologies. Okay, it's gone now. It's gone. But yeah, they look like they're really having connections and really going somewhere. It looked like there was some good conversation flowing, and then Carmen comes in. So I want to get you guys' thoughts and ladies' thoughts as well on this in terms of, is it the right play by Carmen to make the move that she did? Or will that play work against her in the long run in pursuit of someone like Eric? I just want to get your thoughts on that. Is it the right play by Carmen to make this move? Or will it backfire against her? Your thoughts, your opinions, your observations. Jay, I know you are the dark arts specialist here, agent. So I'm going to let you go first.
All right. Well, let me get up and...
Come on, Darth Vader.
My witch hat on real quick. No, no, but for anybody else, I would say that could backfire. But for him, I'm gonna say no. Oh. And I say this reason for the no that it won't backfire is because they already know each other. They knew each other in a business setting. And a lot of times when you're hiring me as a chef or hiring me as a contractor to do some work for you, I don't want to break that professional code by addressing you and stuff. So him as a man, it makes it a little difficult for him to make an advance, because either it'll seem like he's out for some type of game or whatever, or, he's not very professional. So he can shoot himself in the foot by approaching her in that manner, because there's a thing that, okay, you're a chef. Do you do this with all the ladies? Do you do this with all your clients? So you got to be careful with walking that line there. So for her to approach him like, let me show you that I am interested outside of this setting, because we've done business and this has been happening inside of this particular realm. Outside of this realm, let me show you I have interest in you. Now, where I feel she has fought in is her having to say in her confessionals little jabs at the other ladies and stuff like that. Be confident in yourself. Just walk in that room. Hey, how you doing? These pots are here. Hey, this is nice. You see me in all this glory. I don't have to say nothing about her. I can actually big her up. Oh, sis, you looking good. That might even attract him a little bit more to be like, oh, she got mad confidence. She's not even worried about the next person, but she kept doing those little things. And she even did it in his presence, like I walk in the room, boom, they clear out like, sometimes that confidence is an arrogance. And so you got to be careful on walking that type of fine line right there. So that part right there could have possibly backfire on her if, she didn't already kind of knew what kind of guy he was. They obviously had banter before, so she knows how she could joke with him. She's probably hit them with these lines before, like, you see how I clear out the room, ha, 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 because he kind of went along with it. So this is something that they're familiar with. But doing this with a new guy, yeah, you could possibly turn him off. In a different setting that is not, we don't know each other business and all that. Yeah, definitely, because you're kind of coming in like you're insecure in a way. So, but she picked the right guy to do it with. I'll leave it with that.
I'm hearing it. The dark arts coming through. Okay. Master Sean, what are you saying? Is this approach from Carmen gonna work? Is it a good approach? Is it a safe approach? Is it a bad approach? What was your exact thoughts on that approach that she seemed to come with?
Nah, it was thirsty. You know what I mean? And I just think he was nice to her about it. But it was giving like, come on, like what like pushy, a little obnoxious. Obviously Dakia didn't appreciate the way she segued in. It wasn't subtle. It was similar to that scene with Sabrina at the piano last season, and Mumin came in to, ask Walter to play the, Stay Right song, right? It's like kind of just very awkward. And then we got to really see how she just kind of inched her. She like kind of pretty much pushed her out. And then she tried to say like, oh, I'm just joking. No. And he was like, no, you're not. So yeah, I just think she could have picked a better time or place, especially knowing that they already have some type of history. To me, it looked like they got it in. That was the way, that's how comfortable she was. I think Eric is a gentleman, so he wasn't going to say it all together, but he said, we had a great time. What does that mean? He was like, we never tried the relationship stuff, but we had a great time. Great time sounds like, y'all laid down somewhere, you know what I mean? Or stood up, but something happened. So I think like she just her timing was off. And I think she was just a little bit cocky. So those are my thoughts on her.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely. I definitely think it was not the right move, but no, I wouldn't say not the right move. It wasn't executed well by Carmen. I think when you watch how she came in, she immediately put the pause on him in front of the other lady. Talking about turning the temperature up, etc., etc. It was actually too much. That's all it was. It was just too much. And it was so obvious you're trying to get at the other woman that it became about the other woman, not about Eric. You know what I mean? Had she come in there and be like, hey guys, what you guys doing? Just wanted to see what's going on. Maybe even just gently touch Grace's shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Making it look innocuous, right? it would have been fine. It would have been a lovely move by her, a lovely pass. You know, Eric couldn't have read too much into it. Dakia can't read too much into it. If she does read into it, it's going to look like potentially Dakia's maybe making too much of the situation. But Carmen made so much of it so obvious that it just looked bad. It didn't look, for me, it's not enticing. And what I would say though about Eric is, I think talks about, again, I think this is kind of maybe a look into his character, or maybe his personality, I should even say.
Yeah.
If you're gonna try and get me to say yes, you're my number one, whatever that she was trying to make him say, yeah, I'm gonna be really turned off, and I hate that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you try to force me to do something like that,
The pressure.
the pressure. I'm not gonna like that. But he decided to kind of a little bit go along with it, and that kind of made me think, either you're not trying to ruin your thing with her, maybe you've done a thing with her, maybe you have had a little thing with her in the past, and you try not to ruin that, you know what I mean, by shutting her all the way down. But I'm also like, maybe that's also your MO. Do you know what I mean? Because you should know me, and you should know that she can't run. If you're a woman, you know that how I act. If you do that, if you come to me in public like that, I'm gonna be vexed. Don't do that. Like, I'm gonna tell you straight, don't do that. I don't care how we've smashed in the past. Don't do that. You know that's not how I operate. I don't like that. And I think that just kind of showed me a little bit about him too. That maybe, you know, he might be a little bit soft, you know, in terms of giving boundaries to someone like Carmen. Let me ask a question to Jay. Jay, you're looking at me, so I know that you're thinking. You know what I mean? You know, I know, as you know, you're a dark art special agent. You know when you're dealing with certain type of guys, you know how, you know, you can almost analyze certain guys, what they'll be willing to take, what they won't be willing to take. Did Carmen overestimate maybe her position with Eric in the fact that maybe they've had a past relationship in the past, whatever? Like, what was she thinking? Because I'm just trying to really deep why she came in so hot and heavy.
I don't think she overestimated it, because he opened to it. This is one thing about Carmen that I do appreciate, that most of the ladies, some of the ladies, not to say most, but some of the ladies don't have. She actually can read the room. And she uses that to her advantage. Or whatnot, because in that moment, she could have came in a lot of different ways. I'm not gonna lie. She could have came in a little bit more subtle and all that, but she knew exactly if she came in strong that Dakia was going to leave. And Eric wasn't going to say anything. That right there, that how she did that was intentional. She did it on purpose, and she knew she was doing it on purpose. Eric even said she did it on purpose, and she made him say at the end, "Who is your number one though?" Besides, like, you know, he's like, she's asking him, she's basically grilling him like a friend. Like, they already have the friend vibe. That's how you come in with your friend. Like, oh, excuse me, hi, this is my friend. You know what I'm saying? Are you feeling her? How you feel about her? That's how she came out. It's like, why are we even talking about her if I'm trying to make a connection with you, really? So there's already, like Sean said, there's already been something established there. So now we're just trying to refill it out. So let me remind you of what you had, what you can have some more. Here it is. You know, and when you're working in that phase, when you're working in that Jezebel phase, you're not caring about nothing but your target or whatever. So I'm walking into this space like, okay, person over here, nice to see you. Let me open this up a little bit more so I can remind everybody what is up in here with you and stuff. Let me dangle them over these pots over here. Let me put them over here. Oops, accidentally got some in the food. Sorry. Can you wipe that off for me? That's how she was going through that whole room. And Eric is sitting there like, okay. Okay. It's like a real man would have sat there. And I'm not saying he's not a real man, but a man in his like strong stance, he would have kind of shut it down. Like, okay, Ma, you're doing a little too much. Excuse me. It would have been almost how you seen how P.O. was with Precious and how Demetrius was with Precious as well. It'd have been like, okay, I don't really care for this energy. You know what I'm saying? Even when they were alone, he might not have did it in front of the kid, but even when they were alone, it was like, you know, that wasn't cool. Like, we got history, you know, like, we're all here to date. It's that simple. But he didn't do it. So she knew what she was doing. She knew who she could do it with, and she did it. And I have to hold Eric more accountable in that part than anything, because you just got through telling this other woman how you got her up there and you're going to be in a relationship with her. And now you're telling this other one how she's your top, and really it's no competition. So Eric, I got to watch you, brother. That's who I got to watch. Why you palate pleasing and stuff.
Oh man, with all the flavors and all the flavors. Sean, what's your thoughts on that, man? As what you just heard from Jay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could see that. I just think it just showed a level of thirst that she didn't need to show, because her body was bodying. Like, she looked great in that little bikini. So she should have played the long game versus the short game. You know, she pulled the move. She didn't get embarrassed on camera, but long game, are you going to get chosen? And I mean, I know they cut and spliced the deliberation, but it still doesn't look like Eric put her in his top, right? So I think ultimately, outside of just wanting to have a moment where she's getting his attention and getting all eyes on her, if she's really in this ready to love game, she would be wanting him to put her in his top like she asked, and then really choose her come decision day. So I just think she just needs to tone it down a little bit. Don't play on history, because history isn't current. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know where he stands. And fortunately, he is a nicer guy and she didn't get played. But is that still going to get what she's looking for, which is to be chosen, right? You know, she wants to not be at the bottom. Fortunately, she's got, you know, a couple of different guys that are into her. So, you know, that's kind of my thoughts on it. You know, and again, it's TV, so I get the entertainment factor. But at the end of the day, I think Eric is a little more of a quiet guy, and guys that are quiet, they're not going to want a woman that has all that energy, because it could be a little bit over the top sometimes. And, you know, all that 24/7, it's good for a short time and a fun time, but not a long time. So that's my thought.
I'm definitely hearing you on that. Okay, cool. Let's switch speeds in. Still sticking with Eric. Eric had a conversation with AP. He kind of said, you know, I'm kind of seeing AP and I'm not really sure she's really ready for this show. AP also had a conversation with Demetrius as well. What was your kind of thoughts around the conversation with AP, you know, with Demetrius and Eric that she had? Like, what was your observations that you saw from her? Is she ready to love, or do you think she's still trying to recover from her past, you know, unfortunate passing of her husband? Sean, you shook your head, so you might be the strongest person to talk on the garden, sir.
Yeah, no, I think she's ready for a nap.
Oh.
You know, I think AP's ready for a nap, because she's not, I don't see her invested in this process. You know, she still kind of finds a way to nitpick or not, you know, kind of vibe with the guys. Nobody's really vibing with her. Everybody's getting like these weird friendship vibes. So yeah, I don't think she's at a position that there's anybody. One, I don't think there's anybody on this cast that's for her.
What did you think of when she said that Superman bar versus I'm not Lois Lane? What was your immediate thought when she said you can be Superman but I'm not Lois Lane? What was your immediate thought in reaction to that?
I thought it was a little snippy.
Ooh, okay. What you mean?
Like, what? Like, I think she's, I don't know. I just find her commentary a little biting. You know, like, she just finds a way to kind of just like be like a wet towel. You know, it's like she's always gonna like, why? Like, why? Like, what does she mean she's not gonna be her Lois Lane to, you know, his Superman? Like, is she saying she wants to be Superman and she wants him to be Lois Lane? Like, what is she looking like? I just feel like she just was either doing a role reversal, or it was like a little bit like, I'm not going to be submissive. I don't know. I don't really get it. It was kind of like awkward. So I just felt like she was just, you know, maybe she's not going to play games. So I don't know. It didn't make sense to me really, but it just felt like she was not giving him any room to go anywhere with whatever scenario he was talking about.
Okay. I see. Jay, what was your thoughts, man? You know, AP dropped that bar about Superman and Lois Lane. I don't think any of us really knew exactly what she was kind of saying, but you might have a different viewpoint.
I think she was saying more so that she's not a damsel in distress. She don't need to be saved. She don't need to be, somebody to come take care of her, so to speak, or whatever. But like, it's a weird dynamic to use that analogy, because as much as Lois Lane likes Superman, she's attracted to Clark Kent, who can't do nothing for her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you trying to say right now? I don't totally get it. But like Sean said, it was a bit snappy. It was a little hard. Even Demetrius said it's coming off hard. I want to see the softer side of you. Like, it's guarded. This is a guard answer right here. And as far as her, I'm not going to say she's not ready to love, because clearly she's done that before. I just don't think she's totally ready to get out here in this type of process, especially a speed dating process, and really give her all to people, because you got to kind of open up fast in this process. You can't just come in and be closed off and have walls up and keep nitpicking at every little thing. And this, you can do that in a real world dating. You can take your time and do that there, but in this process, this is not the place for it. You can't be too nitpicky and all this stuff, because that gets you at the bottom, as we can see, and then you start closing off. You start shutting everybody down. This one reminds you of your brother. This one reminds me of my classmates. Well, which one is going to remind you of the husband? How long are we going to get till we get there? Because that's what it seems like you're looking for, somebody that is close enough running to your husband. So that's a turnoff too, that I'm always going to be compared to somebody. I'm always compared to somebody in the background. That's a turnoff. I don't want to be compared to your ex. I don't want to be compared to your next. I want to be me. And so I'm not saying she's not ready. She's just not, this process is just not the place to start dating. When I calculated it all up, she's been married for 10 years. He's been gone for 5. That's 15 years of not really dating. That's a lot of change in the dating game. So you have to take kind of baby steps to try to figure out what this world is like, even dating. Shoot, if you've been off the market for like 4 years, it's a whole different game. Sometimes 6 months is a whole different game. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to date no more. It's crazy out here. Like, so it's different. She got to figure out what territory she's in now. It's not an easy process to get in. And I know everybody that's been divorced or gone through some type of breakup, they all, you can't tell a person when they're not ready and stuff, but it's a change for 15 years of not doing it to jumping into speed dating. Bam, hash. Jumping into speed dating, that's a lot. Bambi got her say on it too. She feels some type of way about it, clearly. So tell me how you feel, Bam. Okay, thank you, Mama. I'll leave it alone.
Love that, man. Go for it, Sean. Love that, Jay.
Yeah, I was reading the comments a little bit, and then I went back to watch the scene really quick again.
Yeah.
And it's definitely giving, I don't need a man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need a man to complete me. I'm complete. And I think that just goes without saying. And for me, that gives like a chip on your shoulder if you have to go run around and let me know that. That to me sounds like a wall, right? Because if you're leading with that energy, then at the end of the day, it's like that's your thought, right? It's like kind of like, you do you and I'm gonna do me because I got this all figured out. And in a relationship, you need two people to be able to work together. So like, all that energy, I get it if that's something you've picked up on, or if I give you that, like if I'm like, listen, I need my woman to be submissive, blah, 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 and I start hitting you with that kind of rhetoric, then yeah, you need to check me and bring it down and say, hey, listen, this is the kind of, person I am, and this is what I need, and I'm not looking for that, right? Then we can have that conversation. But once you lead with that, that means that you're pushing with that energy. It's like, I got this, I'm a strong, independent woman, blah, 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 INDEPENDENT. It's like, okay, We understand that. I mean, I think that's basics. And if you have to lead with that, then to me that means like you probably got a little chip. And I think, truth be told, just watching how she's navigating this process, I think she don't even want anybody on this cast. I think she's already assessed the scenery. She's probably like, I don't even see anybody here that's worth me entertaining. And so I think that's probably why her guard is up a little bit. And she's just kind of seeing some of the other antics that are playing out. And she's like, I definitely don't want none of that foolishness. So she's like, I'm going to just go into this very casual, give all types of friend vibes, telling Cliff he looks like her brother, telling Wiley, shooting him down, because he's too young. She's like, ain't nobody here for me. So that's what I think.
Is that she doesn't have nobody other than Demetrius, but then she self-sabotaged on that. Because I think what she was trying to say is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's because of her tone, why it came off the way it did. But she was basically saying, I did my work, I'm complete. I'm not looking for a man to come in and finish any job for me. I am coming in whole, as you should come into a relationship. But because of the tone and the words that she decided to use prior to it, is like, it made it sound like, I don't need a man. Like you said, Sean, exactly what you said. It made it sound like that because of the way she did it. Oh, I'm completed. I don't need a man. And no, I'm not looking for a Superman. I'm definitely not about to be his Lois Lane. I don't need that. I don't need you to fix me. That's how it came off. And it's just like, no, you're here because you want somebody. You're here because you need to you need a whole complete somebody for love to match your completeness. So I think if she had her tone changed a little bit and a little bit more softened up, Demetrius would have received it a lot better than he did.
100%. Yeah. And Demetrius's response is what really gets you to realize his response tells you what he thought of what she said. Because his immediate response after that was, so I think he was like, can you be vulnerable or can you be affectionate? That's it. He said, no. He said, so are you affectionate? And she said, yeah, I'm affectionate. He said, really? Now, when a brother says really like that, he's already made a judgment that you are not affectionate. Okay? So her answer before that also played into the fact that he's like, you're affectionate. After you just told me that you are not Lois Lane to Superman, then baby, it's good. Continue. Like, you're not affectionate. And then she says she is. I think that brought the confusion. And you're absolutely right, Jay. Tone is so important. And again, tone is not, tone is not necessarily the pitch. It is, when we're talking about the tone, is about almost, that's why we have intentionality as well. Like, the tone behind it is really how you inflict your voice on a particular statement that you're making, right? The stress that you put on certain parts of words that you use within a sentence, and how she formulates those words into a phrase. Now, the way she kind of phrased it all together, it was given, I don't need you. Okay, now someone might say, yeah, you don't need you, you want me. That's fine, but it didn't even give me I want you. It gave me I don't need you, I don't want you, and I am the boss here. Which is why when in the cutscene you'll see that Demetrius actually says, she knows exactly what she wants, because that's what he was getting from her. But that didn't leave any space for him to be involved. And she basically let him know, hey, I'm no soft woman. Okay, I'm not gonna be here, your soft landing pad. Okay, I'm not about to be that kind of thing. And he's like, well, then why are we even doing this? Because I don't need that from you. I don't need you to be another me. I don't need you to be another man in this relationship. I just need you to be the soft, feminine woman that I need in my life, right? Now, that might not work for every single man, but I think the people on the show, I think she's going to struggle on the show. And it's evident because when he asked her how the connection's going at the moment, she went, that let you know that it's not going well. It's not going well, and it's not going well because I think she may have an idea in her head of what kind of man she wants, which is fair enough, but this might not be the show for it. And number two, I think she comes off with an energy that I'm better than you a little bit. just that little condescending kind of. That's why we spoke about this last week about the words to use. Oh, you're a student. He reminds me of a student. Oh, reminds me of my brother. And it's like, no, you're like this to me. You're like this to me. And you're like this to me. And that's what it kind of felt like. So, and that may be her self-defense mechanism, that she's putting into play and maybe part of, her kind of not wanting to be hurt or not wanting to open up because she feels like these men are not the right type of men for her. Who knows? But I am not getting that vulnerable piece from her at all. She's definitely gonna be paying 50-50 on a date with me. Yeah, I'm not. You're not getting my money. You better reach for the purse, and your hands better not be alligator hands. I want to see hands reach out. I want to see hands in the purse, reaching for money, and I want to see it on the table. I want a Kyra and AJ situation. I leave, and you put the card on the table. That's what I want to see.
Let's be honest. You want her to pay for you, Kojo. Don't play with me.
That's even right. That's even more right. I want her to pay for me. I'm not feeling the vibe of paying for you right now. You said you ain't Lois Lane. That's right. Fine. You ain't Lois Lane. I'm not Superman either. So go about your business. Let me see that Amex card. Let me see that gold American Express. Okay, because my enemies.
Playing field, right? The playing field is level.
I want to play. She wants a level. So my enemies.
This is a business date.
My enemies. It's a business date. That's what she wants. She don't want a husband. She wants a business partner. That's fine.
And you know what, Coach? You were making a point. I don't know if it was this Love is Blind review that you did today or another one, but you were just talking about the fact that we as men, we like to be needed, and we also like to be encouraged when we do something well, right? And I think she's missed that mark. And a lot of times, like somebody, she's been married, so she thinks that she has a leg up on everybody else because she's been married. Well, I'm going to take you back to your investment days, right? What do they say about past performance, right? Past performance is not an indicator of future performance, right? So it's not necessarily and always a predictor. We don't know what that marriage looked like. We don't know, was it a healthy marriage? We don't know anything about that. So that factor, it's great she was married for 12 years, and I'm not taking anything away from her, but don't wear that like, oh, I got this, I know all about it. No, because now you're trying something new with someone else. You have to be open to what works for the both of you. And I think she missed that mark because she's like, I know this, I'm a coach. Anytime I see somebody whose sole profession is a coach, unless you're coaching a sports team, if you are a life coach, a relationship coach, and that's all you do, I'm just kind of looking at you sideways, because are you going to think you're going to take that coaching and you're going to be doing it in our relationship and you're going to be the one that's going to drive the ship and everything? No, because each person is unique and different in the relationship, and you have to leave room for the space for that person and how they're going to show up and how you two are going to show up together. So
I like that, Sean. That's for her moving forward, but I'm going to give her the grace on the past as far as she had a sudden loss of her partner. That means she had to take sole role for the last 5 years. And so I think that's where we get this hard, tough person, because she probably never really had, even though she says she's done the work, I think it's kind of like what Clifton never really had that real time to really fully grieve it out, because I have children. She got kids. She went from 10 years of having a partner to all of a sudden now, these next couple of years, I got to do this all by myself. Take kids to wherever, depending on what you got, boy, girl, sports, this class, that class, school, make sure they fed, do my job, do this. I have to be super mommy and daddy now. I have to do them both. And it depends on what her circle is, her family circle is, how big they are, how much help she can get from them, if they're living in the same state or not. All of those things factor in to this tough exterior that she now has. So that's where I'm going to give her the grace at, because we need to know how that transition totally went for her. Was it a smooth transition into it? Even though it was a sudden death, did she have people there to help her, or did she have to just take it all on by herself and figure it out? Because one, on top of it, it was somebody that was 14, 15 years her senior. You know what I'm saying? So that could almost been somebody that was taking care of her. And then it's just like, oh my gosh, now what? Now I gotta build my whole self up and make sure everything is afloat, and whatever debt he left or whatever because we were married. I got to fix all of that. So, you know, it's stuff that we might have to look at when we get into the interview parts of it. But, you know, I'll give her the grace for some of the exterior that she has. But like you said, Sean, moving forward, she has to take those things into account.
That's a good point. I never took that into account in terms of those last 5 years, in terms of having to look after the kids and everything like that. I mean, it's just, I'm still paying 50-50 on a date, but I hear what you're saying. You know what I mean? It's stopping me paying.
You're not letting up on that. But
no, I'm not.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm still paying 50-50 because remember, I'm gonna and you're actually right, Jay. So for us, if we're interviewing, we can now take that perspective, right? In real time, you're not getting that perspective. In real time, if you meet her now, if you meet AP now, without Jay obviously saying what she had said, which is a really important piece because she really gave a great insight. I'm looking at you like, babe, what you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to do right now? You want a man or you don't want a man? Okay, I'm gonna have to walk away. So, but you're absolutely right though. There is an aspect of that having to do things behind it, but that includes what we're talking about, which is she's not very vulnerable. Right? Because this is all part of the understanding of, maybe that conversation might have not been for the camera, right? It might have been a conversation for after, when her and Demetrius are talking a little bit one-to-one. Hey, look, you know what? I'm a little bit out the game, you know, I'm a little bit rusty, and, you know, but I think that's her disposition. I honestly think that is her disposition, that she, you know what? Maybe when she comes on, she'll be able to explain. I have a sneaky feeling I don't think her husband would have been as assertive, personally. I think she was always probably the more assertive one, right? Probably doing a lot of the things around doing things. She seems like the person that likes to be hands-on. Not a problem at all. It worked for your relationship there, whatever. I'm not going to say. But you're absolutely right. With her situation, I think it just hardened those particular traits even more, where it becomes solo independent. But go for it, Jay.
No, I was just going to say, at least we got you back up to 50-50. She ain't got to pay it all now, so.
Yeah, I said 50. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be that cruel. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be that cruel. I'm going to look at the bill, and I'm going to look at what I ate, and I'm going to say, listen, that's what I'm paying for. And that service charge, because we're in America, we have to pay service charge. But in UK, if it was UK, listen, I'm going to look at service charge. Baby, we ain't paying service charge. So don't include that in the halves.
Jojo.
What?
You're going to itemize the bill on a date?
Listen, for AP at the moment, yes. I'm looking at it.
No.
Damn, girl, you see, you ate lobster?
He like, nope, I had the salad and the water.
Exactly. I mean, I didn't even add no juice in that, baby. You better pay for your sides.
Let me do the tax. And
I'm going to add that right here. And the service charge. Thank you, sir. Take that off. I never asked for that. Thank you.
Yeah, you definitely need to stay single for 2023.
One more year.
And maybe into 2023 too.
We'll try again next year. It's too soon this year.
Terrible. That's terrible.
No shame for me. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. I got you, man. Don't worry about that, man. You know what I'm saying? Told you guys already, man. You know what I mean? I'm no Superman here. I'm Clark Kent, baby. Okay. All right. Cool. So, oh man, madness. All right. Cool. So let's move on to someone else. We had Wiley talking with with Tiffany, Wiley and Tiffany. You know what? Tiffany. I said Tiffany. Tina. Sorry. Do you know what? I had Tiffany in my page. Sorry, I had Tiffany on my edit. I was trying to do the scrolling. Tina gone. Tina. Why are you in my head, Tina, trying to get with Wiley still? She out here doing juju. All right, cool. Listen, Wiley and Tina.
Tina left that.
Trust me. Hey, Tina was looking fine. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. She bringing that energy. I'm gonna pay 100% of the bill and the service charge. Now, what was your thoughts on the Wiley and Tina situation? Because they looked like they had a really good connection. It looked like they really had like a really nice vibe. I don't know if she's actually fully interested in Wiley. I know she's attracted to Wiley, but the fact that she went for a PO tells me she's looking for stability. She's looking for some consistency. She's looking for that sturdiness. You know what I'm saying? Especially with a kid. I don't know if she saw that in Wiley, but I think she's playing the game nicely. Saw some muscles and said, why not? Let me have a conversation. What was your thoughts in regards to Tina and Wiley? Do you know what I mean? What's your thoughts there? Sean, do you want to go? Oh, Jay, no, Jay's ready. Jay's ready. I saw Jay. Jay just touched her screen. My bad, Sean.
Nah, I was going to say, Wiley is definitely feeling her. You know, I mean, how can you not when she got the girls all out the way she did? It's like, whoa, okay, hi. You know, but he's definitely feeling her. And I say this because Wiley likes the maturity, and that's why he likes older women. The problem with it, she does too. She likes older men. They both actually are very similar because he said he likes older women. She said she likes older men. So that's where the problem is going to come in, because now they're both going to sit there and be like, well, at least she will be like, well, your age is a factor still for him, unfortunately, even though he does present himself and carry himself more, very mature for his age and stuff. But her, on the other hand, she does the same thing. And I figured that would be a great thing for Wiley because he likes the maturity. That's why he hasn't got with Precious. You know, that's part of that reason why he hasn't gone for her. I'm not really sure why he hasn't gone for Sabrina. Must be some other reason, because she gives off very mature for her age too. But he does have attraction to her. However, like you said, she has a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old. That's a lot for somebody that's in their early 30s that has no kids. You know, you can see it a little bit more better with somebody that's a little bit older, more established, and probably has his kids and not looking to have any more. And he's like, okay, maybe I'll take on the responsibility of this new one. You know, I don't mind kids. I like them or whatnot. I would think it would be a better match with Wiley just because he is more younger. He's more in tune to be able to, you know, go along that stages with you and your kid for the long haul or whatnot. But, you know, if a bit older man wants to deal with a terrible toddler when it gets to that stage, because she's hitting them, she's in them 2s and then she's moving to them 3s and it lasts to 4 nowadays. If he wants that, bring that energy into his house, more power to him, you know, because that's a lot. With their relationship, that did concern me though, was that when he asked her, when was your last relationship? She said toxic. It's like, sweetie, he asked when, not how was it? And the first thing was out your mouth was toxic, 2.5 years ago. So are you really over that? Do you really get over that fast because he was cheating on you while you were pregnant? That's a lot. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot to deal with. And now you are forced to be a single mother because you have to make a rash decision for your safety and the child, depending on what else is going on there. And I also want to question what toxic is to you, because if it's just cheating, is it really that toxic? So it sounds like there was more implied than just cheating for you to scream toxic. You know, most people would just be like, oh, he cheated on me, and so now we're here. But you screamed out toxic. So that sounds like a lot more is into that you were dealing with. And are you over it? And the looks that you were giving when you said it too, I'm like, sis, are you over it? And you're going to say that he's not in the child's life. There's only one reason that man should not be in that child's life, and that's because he put you and the child in danger. Or he's literally locked up right now. I'll say 2 reasons. Dead, unalive, locked up, or he's put you guys in danger. So there's a restraining order why he's not around that child. Otherwise, he should still be in that child's life, regardless if he was cheating on you or not, because that relationship with his child has nothing to do with you. So there's a lot to be questioned there on her behalf as far as this whole situation. Are you really over it? Is this going to be a future problem if he's just like right now locked up somewhere because of you, behind something else or whatever? Is he going to be a possible problem later on in life because he wants his child, he wants to see his child, and you guys can't seem to be in a amicable place to even make that, you know, co-parenting thing a thing later on? So that's a lot to take on for Wiley. He might want to watch out on it and, you know, really put a lot of thought into that. Can he handle all of those stresses that may come dealing with a new mother? And I'm not saying that you can't go out there and be a new mom, but it's a lot better when you're in a more cohesive co-parenting situation and you guys are kind of broke up. Even if it was cheating involved, it was more of a mutual, less toxic breakup. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more easier to say, okay, well, I don't deal with him anymore, but he does have his child on these days and that. And so this is what we have set up, and we have an understanding, and, you know, we're going to communicate just because of this. So if there's no communication right now and later on the daddy pops up, what's that going to be like? What's got it? So there's a lot of questions that she needs to answer for herself, really. to say, you know what, let me bring somebody else into the situation as far as taking care of this child. Because another thing too, I just thought about is, what if this man don't want somebody else taking care of his child? What if he just caused a problem just because of that alone? Who is this? Who this guy over here with my baby? And you know, you got a lot going on. So I don't know. As far as anybody on the show, I like her. She's a very beautiful woman. You know, she got a nice personality so far. But there's a lot for anybody, any one of these fellas on the show. They got to be able to handle what may come with that.
Much appreciated. Yep, 100%. Sean, what's your thoughts? 100%. That was good bars, Jay.
Yeah, definitely. Some excellent insight that Jay shared there. I think, like, listen, first, let's just start with the aesthetics. That's what we call walking in a high heel shoe, you know, with that confidence, you know. So she definitely was looking good, looking right and tight. I'm gonna give her a pass on the contacts. Maybe the production is handing out contacts on the set. I don't know what's going on in Potomac. So, but hers, at least they weren't blue. Okay, they weren't blue. But on to the conversation about her and talking about her previous relationship. I think sometimes we just use these buzzwords that kind of just like we plug and play. So we go toxic, you know, and it could just mean tumultuous. It could just mean it was not healthy, you know, but we just use a buzzword that we think maybe everybody can understand and go for it. But when you just leave it out there, it leaves us all listening to kind of fill in the blanks. Like, what does that mean? Because it sounds like a lot. So I just would be curious to hear, what did she learn? Right? You know, what was the learning from her? Because a lot of times we throw out these things that happen, but was there an opportunity for her to do something different? Right? Because that's going to be the thing you walk away with. You can easily point at the dude, and I'm not saying he clearly is wrong for, you know, stepping out on her while she was having a child or his child. But what was the takeaway for her? Because he's gone, and wherever he is, what did she learn so that she's making better decisions, so that we can see that there is a healing process, there is a learning process. The other thing that just was kind of red flaggish for me was she was like, I'm looking for a man to be a father figure for my daughter. I kind of cringed a little bit. Your daughter's 2 years old. I don't think that should be first on your list of priorities. Coming from someone that was married and dated someone that had kids previously, that's not what we talked about. And I don't think you should be in that space yet. You should be vetting me to see if I'm a good enough partner for you, and then somebody that could be around your child. Right? But that's not at the forefront. Like, I don't want to meet your kid, you know, for some time, because you and me got to get our situation right. So I just think, like, maybe that's not exactly what she meant, but she said it that way. And it just gave me like, I'm looking for a plug and play dad. And you got to be careful with that, because you don't know me yet. You don't know the other man yet. You don't know him to trust him with your child yet. So, you know, you might want to find out if he likes kids. Is that something he's comfortable with, that you have kids and being around somebody with kids or whatever? Those questions I think are important, and you being a mom, super important, and that's a priority for you. You being a mom should be a priority. I think that's nothing wrong with that. And providing for your daughter and making sure you build a life with somebody that's going to be a good influence to your daughter, I get that. But I just felt like she was leading with that too much. And I think, like, when we've heard women in the past say that on the show, it kind of just never really works out, right? Like, oh, my kids are depending on me to find somebody. No, don't invest your kids in this process. It's too soon. They're so fragile. Like, just you figure it out, you assess the scenery, and then you bring the kids in afterwards. Don't get them excited for that, because you don't know where this is going to go just yet. So that's kind of what I thought from her. But other than that, she seems like a really good conversationalist. You know, her and Wiley had very good conversations. You know, she gave him some compliments about his body, which is, you know, always nice. Guys, we like that, right? And I think that she seems like she's easygoing in the conversation and getting to know people. So I did like that aspect of her. That she is open. Doesn't seem like she has this big wall up, and she's like, you know, not open to getting to know different people on the, you know, the different fellas.
Yeah, definitely hear you on that, man. You know, you know, it's a definitely it's a catch-22 in this one, isn't it? Really, because what you kind of spoke about, which is you should be looking for someone who's going to be a good partner, vet me first, and then become a father figure. And I guess that's the catch-22, because the reason why men stay away from women who have children is because they know that's what's coming next. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're gonna be asking me to become a father figure, and maybe that's not what I want to do. You know, it was almost like a catch-22. I definitely feel like, obviously, you want to be able to. I definitely think you want to be able to vet the man you want to be, especially in this day and age. Everybody should want to vet the person, make sure they're the right person for them as well. I think you also want to be looking for someone who's got great father, you know, that could be a great father too, that could also, you know, bring stability, you know, to your household, that can be a great role model as well, and can also, you know, show love, you know, that your child would need. So, you know, it's a fine balance, I think, between the two. Whether she saw that in Wiley, I don't know if she saw that in Wiley per se, but she might have seen that in Pio. She might have seen, hey, if he's giving off mentor vibes, it might be perfect. You know, it might be perfect. You know, if he's giving off mentor vibes, Sabrina, you know, then it might be perfect for Tina, who maybe, you know, might want that, you know, energy around her that will be able to teach her a thing or two, teach her child a thing or two as well. You know, so it's a touch and go thing, but I liked her energy. I did. I think her energy was ripe. It seemed to be open for now, and you know, she seemed to have a really good conversation. Like I said, as soon as she said Paul, I thought to myself, she's thinking long term. She's thinking stability, security. You know, she's thinking potentially dad figure. You know, I get it. You know, the baby daddy situation, Chile. That's always difficult. But I think if Paul was there, he gonna handle that. He gonna set that person straight. What? If you got Paul there, you think that man can try and say something? Paul will regulate with a bowling ball. I'm telling you, knock him down for 10 straight. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I think definitely we have to watch her in the next few weeks to kind of see what kind of conversation she has with other people, and see the kind of angle she's coming from in that regards as well. Any more thoughts on Wiley and Tina before I move it on? No, that's cool. All right, cool. So let me get you guys thoughts. Let me get you guys thoughts on Laverne, Joy, and Clifton. What's your thoughts on this now love triangle that suddenly appeared? Kind of came up from last episode, but now we're really seeing it now. Laverne, Joy, and Clifton. Obviously, the preview of the next episode also showed us of Joy kissing Clifton, because that's her number one. But what, you know, you never know what Clifton's actually thinking, since he had a little ting with Carmen out here. What's your thoughts on that, Jay? You shaking your head like you? What's that?
I was gonna say, is it a triangle, a square, a rectangle? What we got going on? You know, we got all kind of shapes. You know, we in a circle. You know, this is a circle of love now. I don't know, but I'm glad nobody had to grab anybody's butt this week. So that's a first. You know, that was a good start. I actually did like this date between Joy and Laverne, oddly enough. You know, it was fun. It was flirty. But it was still, he listened to her, because this is what she likes. She does this or whatnot. So he brought her somewhere that she would enjoy herself. And it was surprising to me, because I'm like, he talks so much, I didn't think he listened. So that's good to know that he can calm down and be chill. And actually, he really was reserved when he was with her this time around. So she might bring out some calm energy from Laverne, you know, to like calm him down a bit. I don't know how he gonna match up too well. I guess at this point, Clifton will have to shoot himself in the foot and just go all the route with with Carmen, while to leave Joy open to really look at Laverne that way. And I think that's part of the reason at the house, the pool house or whatever, the beach house that they was at, while Laverne was sitting over in the corner soaking the whole day from everybody, is because she wasn't interacting with him the same. He likes the attention, and she's over there with Clifton doing their little thing and having the attention over there or whatnot. I don't know, maybe we just didn't see no time between them two because of editing, but he was just not himself, as everybody, even the guys said it. He was not himself that day. So I don't know what this up and down with Laverne is. And Joy's energy that she gives me right now, I don't know if she'll be able to handle these mood swings that Laverne gives off in the long run. So that might be something that she might want to take heed on if she did pick it up, since a lot of the ladies said they did have a conversation about where is he and why is he acting also and in the corner. It just brought me back to the first day where he just found him a quarter and all the ladies came to that spot. But it's like, brother, you're new. We're all new here. So of course they'll circle to that spot. But now we're not new. We've been here for some time. You got to start making yourself seen and known to the people that you want to be seen by. You can't sit over in the corner and hope they come to you. They got other options too. And them options is making sure that they are being seen by them. Clifton is going to make sure Joy sees him wherever he's at. He going to make sure he going to give her space to go make her rounds around the whole place. But he going to make sure, here I am, baby. Look, if he got to walk past her, touch her, do a little something, he going to be in that space to let her know, I'm still here. I'm still feeling you. So, Laverne, you need to get out of your head. Stop competing with the men and, go ahead and go after what you want. If Joy is what you want, go after it. You have Ace. I didn't even see him interacting with Ace either. It was just kind of weird on his part. I don't know what's going on. Maybe something happened off camera in his personal life. I don't know. It was just a really weird thing from Laverne. I still love the energy between Clifton and Joy. They just have so much fun and playful at the retreat at the house and stuff. They were having a good time. That was kind of energy I would like to have when I'm out with mines, whether we get to know each other or we've been knowing each other a long time. That right there is fun to me. So, I look forward to seeing more of that. And at this point, we'll see how it goes, because the only time I seen Laverne pep up during that whole day at that house was when it got into the men's deliberation. Then when he get to seeing that, Clifton is like, that's still my number one. Oh yeah, well, I'm feeling Joy too. That's me or whatever. So you just competing against the men, or are you really here for love? I don't know. What are you here for? Who are you worried about? Are you worried about Clifton? Or are you worried about Joy? Which one? So we'll see how it goes.
Love that point. Sean, love triangle, love square, love rhombus. What you saying?
Yeah, no, I think we got to see, Joy and Laverne with their ghost moment making the pottery. Of course, there was some sexual innuendos in there. I'm putting myself inside of you. I'm opening up. It's wet. They just they just got to do it. But they seem like they have a good connection. And I think it was a little concerning because doesn't Laverne, does he have children? And did he say he has never really had a real relationship? So I don't know. That doesn't sound like ready to love to me. I mean, 2 kids and still not one of them, or maybe if they're the same, the same mother with the 2 kids, but 2 kids with the same woman and still not a real relationship, 2 different women, still not a real relationship. It's still sounding like a red flag to me. And I don't think he's very serious. Like, he likes to compete, but I don't think he's serious in terms of intentions and really wanting to settle down in a relationship. I haven't seen that from him. So right now he just looks like he's bumping his gum. He likes the attention, and I can't get over the fact that the rumor mill says that he was referred by Cornelius from the previous season. So that to me, just I'm always going to be squinting every time he comes on the screen. Like, all right, what you gonna say today, bro? So, now Clifton, I can't. Like he'll do something that just makes. Maybe he's just a playful guy, so I'm just not going to be so tough on him. But then he had Precious hitting him in the butt with the rope or whatever that was when they were at the resort. It's like, come on, bro. But seems like he's really intentional with Joy. He likes Joy, and so those two have a good connection. So let's see how they continue to vibe out, because he's always talking about her, and he did mention the moment again. So with the whole allergy thing, and he said he still he still is into her. So let's see how they pan out. I don't know how Joy would choose between the two of them. I'd be interested to see that, who her deeper connection is. Well, look, we saw the preview, right? She gave Clifton that kiss. So I think Joy and Clifton are gonna ride off into the sunset. That's what I see so far.
Yeah, man. Do you know what? I remember as well for Laverne, Carmen said that she felt like Laverne has a god complex. I said, damn. I said, that bites.
Well, Carmen said he was negative, and Precious said he had the God complex.
Oh, Precious said that. Oh, my days. I said, oh, Lord. That's a bit heavy for our brother Laverne. But, hey, it is what it is. But I think, obviously, with Laverne joining Clifton, I think Laverne's joining the race a little, I won't even say a lot late, but just a little bit late. I don't think he's out of the runnings. I don't think that Clifton and Joy are impenetrable. I know that they really like each other. I know they really get on, and they're open. They're willing to be open to explore other connections. I just think to myself, I wonder if Clifton's playfulness is going to get him into trouble, man. I just wonder if he's one or two lines going to get him into trouble. And I said this from earlier in the season. I said, that whole "I miss you today," I said, I don't like it. I don't like it. The way you're going on, I don't like it. I don't like it because I'm like, I know, like, when you box, because he's boxed himself in the corner, he's going to have to stay with Jay. Like, he's going to have to stay with Joy. Like, do you know what I mean? By saying certain things like that. Do you know what I mean? So, I hope that he's still on Joy. I mean, I know he is, but I hope that's still his number one choice. But Carmen's coming hot and heavy, and sometimes people make the wrong choice, choosing the sexual bravado and energy. I'm saying that's actually kind of judgmental, because I don't know how Carmen and Clifton's conversation have gone. You know what I mean? They didn't show us. But, something about the fact that he mentioned Carmen, it may have been one of those Kyra David situations all over again. But, I don't think it's been mentioned by mistake. So I know I saw a lot next week's episode with Joy kissing Clifton. But like I said, that was Joy kissing Clifton, saying that's her strongest connection. But what will Clifton do? I'm sure he probably won't embarrass her. I'm sure he won't do that. But maybe the other parts of the game might reveal some different stuff, in regards to their relationship. But as for Laverne, oh boy, he gonna have to work on his confidence, man. Yeah. He's hench, he's big, good-looking guy, obviously got some strong buns, but sir, we're gonna need you to work on that confidence, because it seems like the Halo grade in you is literally overflowing. And even if you're doing jokes, I always say this, there's always a little bit of truth in the jokes. This is the second time he's kind of done a slight kind of joke about the men being nothing, So at this point, we're gonna be asking the question, bro, are you really thinking that the men are nothing? Are you having to trash them so that you make yourself feel a bit better? We have to ask some serious questions. What are you saying, Jay?
Yeah, but also I wanted to say too, when you peep the innuendos who they're coming from lately, it's Joy. A lot of it is coming from Joy too. So you got to watch her too, to some degree. It's like, okay, sis, You know, she made a lot of the comments with Laverne. Oh, is it wet?
She
And
was pushing
things.
it.
Yeah, she did. She started a lot of those jokes with him. She went to the pool house and she's like, you know, he asked Clifton asked her, "You gonna get in the pool?" She was like, "Well, I was hoping to get wet and whatever." So it's not just the guys coming at her with it. She's hitting the guys with it too, you know. So I almost have to question what made Tori feel comfortable to talk about hitting her kidneys, you know. So I don't know.
No, that's a good point. You know, it's a good point. You're right. I have seen Joy use a lot of sexual conversation, and I'm starting to get the impression that I don't know if she wants to settle down. And maybe what I mean by settle down, maybe not necessarily be in a relationship, but maybe I should say marriage. I don't think that's her end goal. I don't think marriage is her end goal. I think her end goal is maybe settle with somebody, be in a relationship with somebody, but it doesn't sound like marriage is the end goal, definitely. Just by the way she's been talking. And yeah, so every conversation with Joy as well involved too, you're right, does involve with her having to say something sexual, you know? And of course, we can all joke like that, you know, but it might be a signal and a flare to say that she might not be as emotionally available as we're thinking she might be. You know what I mean? She might not be as emotionally available as we're thinking she might be. So, yeah, there's a lot of that sexual energy that she's been leading with. She's obviously much better at it than Precious and Dakia because it doesn't come off as thirsty. It seems to be in conjunction and in the same pace as the men. So if she makes a joke, it gets returned. Whether it's Clifton, whether it's Laverne, she's quite playful with it. You know what I mean? So it's slightly differently presented than Precious and Dakia, if I'm honest, as well. Someone said, I wonder if Walter's ex, we all know, is needed maintenance from. I wonder. Hey, we wonder, innit? Nobody really knows, baby. Let's talk a little bit about, Demetrius and Sabrina. Let's get this one out of the way. Let's knock this one out of the park. Does Sabrina want the man to fight for her? Sabrina's having these conversations. What's the thoughts on Sabrina Sabrina's love triangle too? You know, she got a love triangle going on as well. You know, Tori and Demetrius. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Sean moves his arm back. You moved your arm back, Sean. Sorry, your arm went slightly back. So I took
How did you even see that?
Bro, your arm went slightly back and I just saw a little minuscule of a movement and I said, he's ready to go.
I have to be like frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like I forgot Tori was on the show until this episode. So he reappeared because I hadn't really seen a lot of him. So yeah, no, he brought her the 2 cupcakes, which I thought was very thoughtful. But I just I don't know if I see maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I need to rewatch. But I fell asleep on the watching it the first time. I had to go back again and watch it. And I just don't, I think like they're cool, but I don't see like a connection, like a romantic connection. I think she liked that he thought of her enough to give the cupcake. She was very, was very thankful for it. But to me, it didn't seem like she was melting at all. You know, I didn't see that like, oh my God, you picked my favorite, or something like an over like something. And I mean, I get it was cupcakes, so it's not like she's gonna go wild, but I just don't feel like they're genuinely have a romantic connection together. Now, Demetrius, he is so reserved. This was the most we heard him talk, like all in one episode for the last 4 episodes that we've watched. So it was good to see him open up a little bit, see his different interactions. I think she likes the stability of Demetrius. But there's a little more youthfulness than there was with Paul, where she just definitely wasn't connected with him romantically at all. Right? So I think if anything, I could see her leaning towards Demetrius. But if he starts to open up more, talking more, have more dialogue like he did now, because she's a woman, I could see she wants him to lead that conversation. She wants him to state his intentions. And he did a little bit more of that in this episode, whereas before he was just sitting back and watching the cherry blossoms, you know? So I think he's going to need to show up like this going forward in order to capture her attention.
Yeah, I hear that, bro. Big time. That was good little breakdown as well. Jay, what's your thoughts on this love triangle?
First of all, Tori, this is directly to you, boo, okay? You was giving me some Johnny Gill, my. Let your hair down. I'm going to tell you to put on them gray sweats. And boy, all the things I would do to you. Okay, you know what? I can't get into it, but that hair down, that's your look, boo. That's your look, okay? Let it down. All right. But now on a serious note, where the hell you come with these cupcakes on this island? Ain't no daggone factory on this island. Where'd you get these cupcakes? Were they your snack or something like that? And she showed up because this was supposed to be, according to y'all thought y'all was just getting together and hanging with the fellas. Or did you know she was coming? I need answers on them cupcakes, okay? Because you clearly went somewhere and got you some cupcakes. And I guess you had a couple left after you snacked on them. Sweetie, where these cupcakes come from, okay? But nice gesture, did like it, as a pastry chef, good start, don't bring me nothing with raspberries in it. I'm not that big fan of a raspberry like that, but I'm not mad at it. Did she like it that much? Yeah, it's a little up in the air on it, a little skeptical on it. I really think that Sabrina is using Tori to get Demetrius' attention. I think she likes guys fighting over her. I say this because last week she was excited that the women, it was 2 to 3 on that little date that they had on the tour date. She was excited that it was, that it was only 2 girls to the three guys. Then she goes back and says, oh, I'm feeling like I'm in an odd position because I got Tori right here and Demetrius right here. Why do you feel odd? You're not dating either one of them. So it shouldn't be a problem to be able to engage in conversation with them both. It doesn't make no sense. Then you sit there on this date saying that Demetrius is doing something out of the ordinary, which is coming to you. Well, sweetie, have you been coming to him all this time? Because I'm confused. Because on the bus, you act like you didn't know who he was still sitting there. You didn't one time, as far as we've seen, turn to him and say, well, how's your day? I know that you're interested in him, but are you like, what's going on? Do you just want these guys to sit here and have a little battle over you to say, oh yeah, look how these guys are fighting over me? Or do you really have interest in them? Because what is the problem with you getting up and showing some interest to them a little bit just to get their attention? You had to wait all the way until this date here on the island for him to come pull you to the side. And that makes me question, who made him do that? Was it production that put something in his ear? Did he see Tori giving you some things or whatever and stuff? Did you happen to tell him like Tori is stepping up and giving me some stuff? And then the line of things that you say is that Tori is more transparent than Demetrius is. But do you want transparency? Because it seems like you don't. Because it should be an easy choice at this point of why you still trying to go after Demetrius instead of Tori. Tori's giving you what you say you want. He's giving you the attention. He's showing you himself. He's being transparent. He's being open with you. And Demetrius is closed off. And I know everybody likes a little bit of mystery. But Demetrius, we don't know nothing other than he was in the military. He's a player and he cheated from that whole conversation from Precious. That's the only time we got all of that information out. What information have you got out of him? Do he like cherry blossoms? Would he like to talk to you like some other time? Like what has he shown you that you were so pressed on this man that he would be your top choice? You don't PO, he gives the same energy that PO kind of gives, but less attention to me. Like he's very calm, he's very reserved, he's very to himself, but you fought PO for that. So I'm trying to figure it out. What is it, your real angle here as far as Sabrina is concerned? Tori, I think you did a good job, trying to show your interest into a person, being intentional about it. I think that was very commendable about you, about how you went about it. You still made your rounds around the party. Demetrius, yeah, I guess chocolate skin and this beard got to go on for you with the ladies, because I'm not getting anything out of you. I'm really like trying to figure out how you got onto the show. Your personality is not coming out at all right now. You're quiet, you're reserved, and the only time that you want to give anybody his attention is almost to reprimand them for the behavior that they're showing you. With Precious, the only attention she got from you this last thing is that because she's over here bouncing around the whole party the way she is, and now you feel some type of way. Now you're sitting in the car watching how Sabrina move, and when you're on the bus, you're watching how Sabrina moves. So you're giving off like almost like daddy vibes, to the point, like not the daddy with the I, but the daddy with the Y. Like, I will give you a spanking if you get out of line vibes. Let me correct you all the time. And who wants to really be with that? That's like on eggshells, because that means that you can't love me for me. You would have to love me for how you want me to be. And I don't know if it's being rigid because of the military structure, or, background, home training, or what it is, but you give off a very rigid vibe that if things are not the way I say it and how I want it, it's going to be a problem. And for me, that's a little bit, unnerving. I'll put it like that. I'm not going to say scary, but I don't like that, because I feel I can't be me. And that's when we get to Precious, that's how I feel that she just in that moment couldn't be her. So I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. She does go and bites him on the ear next week. We'll see how that plays out between her and Tori, because I kind of didn't like how that conversation was going next week between her and Corey. Oh, if you just go check out. So that means that you want people to fight for you. If you're not giving him attention, why should he stay? Why should he put out his all into you? You got to give him something back. You got to make a person want to fight for you. What are you giving him back if you're putting all your eggs in this basket? So we'll see.
Definitely hearing that. I mean, to be honest, with Sabrina, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. Both of you said it. I think she does want the two men to kind of just, she wants to see who going to fight the contest and win. She wants to see who wants it more. You know what I mean? Who wants the prize more? So I mean, for me, I think and obviously Demetrius seems like he's now ready for the battle with Tori. He sensed that another brother's interested. He's now ready for a battle. So this could get really, really interesting, really, really quickly with Demetrius and Tori, because I think both of them, that is pretty much their own. I haven't seen them connect with anybody else. I haven't seen Tori connect with anybody else. I haven't seen Demetrius connect with anybody else. I know he had Precious, but he kind of neutralized his own kind of connection there. So, it's clear that this is where they're both focusing on. And that could make this such an interesting last few episodes, depending on how much they say love is all fair in love and war. You know what I mean? Tori's already started with the whole cupcake thing. What will be next? What will Demetrius do? What will Demetrius pull out to make sure he tries to get this girl? A lot of things can happen in the next few weeks in terms of what their connection. Obviously, we know the girls got to go home this week as well. I doubt it'll be Sabrina as well. It'll be some one of the other girls. But there's just a lot. There's just a lot that's going on, but there's not a lot going on. Do you know what I mean? We finally get to see a little bit from Demetrius. For me, Demetrius out here, cuzzy, I don't know what Demetrius is doing, because the personality is not coming through. He's being very quiet. But then, in the last episode, his cutscene seemed a bit more energetic. His cutscene seemed a bit more energetic. So something's missing. Okay, either they're trying to play you off, or maybe you're just not bringing that energy that you had in the cutscene to the actual show. A bit more chill, much more reserved. You're not really giving them much to work with, So I want to see more from him. I do want to see more from him. You know what I mean? He had a good conversation with Precious. I think that maybe could have gone a little bit deeper. I mean, what was your kind of thoughts around that Precious and Demetrius kind of conversation, actually, saying that? What was your guys' thoughts? Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I think it was needed. I mean, maybe he could have just said it a little differently, maybe use different tone. It did come off, like Jay mentioned, like a lecture, or like he was scolding her. but it was needed because I mean she was rubbing all, I mean from PO, she was all over the place. She was hitting Clifton in the butt with the rope, you know, like she was just doing too much. She was talking about she's been celibate for, or she hasn't had sex in 6 months and she's ready to go. It's like, ma'am, she's given ready to lay down. Like she is ready for action. And it's like at a certain point, you got all that energy, you need to just dial it back, right? Because you're gonna self-sabotage and you know, mess up your chances. So in her mind, she's like, I'm ready to love. I got this. No, you're giving a different vibe. And you gotta read the room, you know, as Jay was saying, and be able to understand like, is the person you're giving all this energy to receptive to it? One, right? Because there's nothing wrong with flirtation, nothing wrong with being forward. But at the end of the day, you don't have to serve up the goods on a platter. You know, you want there to be some mystery, some, you know, when you're just kind of getting to know phase with the person. It's not like you're already in a relationship and you could say this is what it is and this is what I want. You are getting to know a group of guys in a group setting and you're just throwing everything out there, right? Even with the new dude, what's his name? Jay Dante, what's his name? I'm sorry. Donovan. Yeah. She's throwing it. She just met him and she was like, I don't know if he's catching what I'm serving. What are you serving, ma'am? Like, were you ready? Were you ready to just get it popping? First sight? Like, it's a different show. Precious, I don't know if she meant to come on ready to love or ready to lay down. I think she was ready to lay down. She was like, I'm ready to get this thing popping with whomever and whomsoever is open, willing, and let's get this going. And I think that is the wrong attitude for this kind of show. And she got checked a couple of times. So I think that Demetrius could have been a little gentler with her, especially considering the environment, right? You know, they're in a relaxed kind of like vacation vibes. He didn't have to just like, you know, give her the 1-2, you know, punch. He could have just said, listen, Precious, we get it. I understand. But, you know, can you just dial it back a little bit? Let me get to know you, right? Let's get to know you. But he hit her with the full blown lecture and, you know, read her down from A to Z. And she was just looking cross-eyed like, what, how did we get here? So I don't know. I don't think she's gonna learn, because when she got called out in the bottom two, she was still seeming confused, like, why am I here? Ma'am, because you were like the creepy teacher hitting on their students. It was too much. So that's what I thought about that.
Jay, what's your thoughts on the Precious, Demetrius conversation and her obviously parts with Donovan? Because it was a bit, as Sean was saying, it was much that was given.
I'll put it like this. Joy, I know everybody's like, oh, why Joy didn't get reprimanded? Why you guys don't say nothing but Joy? Because Joy places hers in where they need to be placed and not overly done. It's not, did you get it? Let me say it again. Oh, you didn't get it that way? Let me say it this way. You know, it's here, done, you got it? No, moving on. We're going to try something else. We're going to have a whole nother conversation. And really, when you're doing the dance, that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? This is a full-on tango with her and her alone. Like, she's not dancing with anybody. She's just going on by herself. You know, she's cha-cha sliding by herself at this point, because it's just like, child, reel it in a little bit. Everybody doesn't not need to know what's going on in your love below. That right there is for you and that right person at that right time. Vet these guys out and see if they even worthy of that kitty cat. Like, you making it seem like this is just an alley cat right now. Like, this is for the streets. We want a house cat. Men want a house cat. Like, period. They like to talk like they like these girls out here, and they like these women that do exotic dancing and all this stuff like that. They like to see these things. But would they keep these things for themselves? 80% of the men is not. That's just facts. They're just not. They don't want something that's for everybody. So when a man sees you moving around like this with everybody, he's not going to take you serious, unfortunately. He's just not. And I have a lot of male homeboys. I ask these questions all the time to them. They just not going to do it. They're just not going to take you seriously when it comes down to, am I going to wife her? Am I going to make her my girlfriend? No, I'll have a good time with her. You know, we might spend a couple of months together here and there, but something serious? No. Not going to do it. I'm not going to have my woman on display for the rest of the world. That's just not what I'm going to do. So she needs to learn how to read the room, reel it in, and give just enough for them to bite. You got to give enough bait for you to catch it, your fish. You can't just just throw the whole bucket of worms out there. You ain't catching nothing. All the fish is full and gone. And you over here hungry because you ain't caught nothing. Child, look, take some lessons from your sisters around you. Hell, even the kid got a little decor with her, so you can get some lessons from her too. She slides her in there. She might be going a little place to place, but she'll try it once here and then move on. You know, when Donovan did not pick it up, he heard everything you said. He understood everything you said. It was a bit much. For a person that's looking for something serious, that's not what he wants to hear. He wants to hear about you, your life, your past, your history, as far as dating goes. He wants to get to know you, not what's in your pants. That's the easiest part of you. You know, that's supposed to be the most valued part. He don't want it to be all super sacred that he can't never touch it like a Liz or nothing like that. But he wants it just enough to say, okay, this is going to be a little bit of challenge. What do I have to do to get to it? That's what a man wants. As far as Demetrius is concerned, like I said, Demetrius sat and he observed what was going on. He didn't like what he sees as far as her drinking, her moving around the room, you know, and everybody don't like a woman that drinks. I don't know what his stance on it, but that's what I got from that little bit of lecture he was giving off. He wanted her to come and at least sit down and check. Everybody don't like a loud woman. You got to know what you're dealing with. What I didn't like from her in that particular moment is her trying to explain herself, though. If this is you, boo, live in you. The man that is for you is going to find it. You do need to reel some of you in still, but just if you are that type of social bunny and you like to work the room and you need to, you know, liven up, be the life of the party, be that life of the party. You don't have to explain that to him. If he don't like you, he not that one. That's where I found fault in her in that particular moment. And I didn't like her explaining herself in that moment. I would have let him say what he had to say and then be like, okay, boo, well, I guess I'm not for you. Because I like to be at the vibe. I like to have good time with people. This is what I like. I don't need to explain to you how I am. If you don't like what you see, you just don't need to be with me. But if she's looking to change, I guess that's what she needs to hear from him at that moment. Like Sean said, she did need a little bit of checking, a little bit of reeling in. And maybe, you know, unfortunately, it was Demetrius that had to do it, is one of your interests and not a friend. So that's a bad look, because now he's kind of looking at you like, I don't know about you right now. So, you know, I hope she looks back at this, sees what she was doing wrong, take the notes, move forward, and give a little bit less of yourself. Be a little bit more evasive. Give a little bit more mystery. Let the man want to, like, figure you out. Come see, check on you, see about you. You don't have to be in everybody's face. A lot of people just don't like that out of their partner, man or female. They just don't like that. So, you know, you got to be a little bit careful when you're in these settings, especially if you're not dating anybody per se like that. You know, your man might tolerate that. That's just her. You know, you get in them situations where you're in a relationship and that man is just like, oh, that's just my wife. That's how she do. Because he knows you. But these people don't know you like that. So give them some time to get to understand you. But just give them a little bit as it goes. Don't just throw your whole self out there. So moving forward, I hope she does a little bit better. And, you know, maybe if she's still on the show, we'll hopefully get to see a better side of her next week.
Yeah, I think, man, I said it in my thing. I think in my review, I just felt like Precious was just doing a bit too much. It was just too obvious. Listen, she was really looking for the delash. She was looking for the delash, and it's like, but babe, we need you not to be looking for the delash so intensely, okay? All right, we need you to come around it in a roundabout way. Plus, you need to have a buy-in. Joy has buy-ins with Laverne, has buy-ins with Clifton. She really has those established relationships with these people. She's clocked what she can and can't do and what she can get away with. That's why it doesn't look so bad when Joy does it, right? Because there's a natural flow there and affinity there. This is a brand new person that you started dropping these bars to. I'm putting up the he ain't picking it up. Like, babe, like, yo, like, babe, I need you to chill. Like, that's not what it is. Like, you need to chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you really do want the delash, my friend, please just chill. You know what I'm saying? And, engage. One of the jokes would have been fine. If she made one joke, it would have been fine. She actually made 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? If she had just said the one joke, like, hey, she could have got away with that. But you went on and on and on and on. And it's like, babe, it looks like you were compensating for I don't know if because we don't really get much of Precious on beyond the surface level. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm wondering if there's a cover up for a more deeper side of Precious. I want to see more of her. I want to see a deeper side to her. I want to see a bit more, what the complexities that she has within herself. Like, let's see more of you, Precious. You can be energetic as much as you want, but I want to see more of you. What's the depth of Precious? I think it's a little bit one-dimensional, two-dimensional at best with Precious at the moment. I need to see 3D. I need to see 4D. I need to see expansiveness from Precious a little bit, So, yeah, what are you saying, Sean?
You better be careful how you position that question. You better get ready. You want to see more of me? She'll give you HD, bro. So you better just
listen. If she wants the lash, I don't mind if she wants the lash, but she needs to chill a little bit. You know what I mean? She's making it too obvious that she wants the lash, man. Like, relax, man.
And the thing is, it's like just indiscriminate. It's like she's like, you can get it, and you can get it, and you can get it, and you can get it. It's like, come on, you want there to be some exclusivity to, the goods. If you just tossing it up in the air and just wherever it lands, whoever takes, you're going to go with them. It's like, come on. I'm sure that's not her intention, but that's what the energy feels like,
I was confused as well when she's saying that she's been 6 months celibate or whatever until I did the math. Because I was like, at 6 months, I'd be like, you know what? I don't even want a relationship. F the D. I don't even want to talk to you at this point right now. Like, I'm good. Shoot, I'm on AP status. I don't need you. Like, I'll be real tough. But I was like, okay, well, she said it's been 9 years since she had a relationship. So I was like, oh, so you've been just wilding for about 8.5 years. So, you got some energy that's up in you that you just, it's hard to, once you're addicted to a little way of life, it's hard to just cut that off. So I was like, okay, she's still in rehab right now from the peen. And that's what the problem is, is we in the presence of all these wonderful peens possibly. And I'm an addict. What I'm supposed to do? Like, I'm itching. So that's what we seeing is her going through withdrawal. She itching and she trying to get somebody in her draws. And child, I just needed to reel it in. Put a lock on that. And just try to get to know somebody for a minute. Like, we can't be out here being in our old days. We can't be pros for life now. We just can't be pros for life. We got to bring it in, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm definitely hearing you, man. I just, man, Precious, man. She's a beautiful lady, she's a beautiful lady. I think she's a pretty woman. I know Sean doesn't agree. I think she's a pretty woman. I think she's good looking. You know what I'm saying?
No, she's not a bad looking lady. I guess I just that I don't like the wig.
Yeah, no, I don't like the
wig. The contact.
She's pretty.
But she is beautiful,
Yeah. She could just do something, just like maybe just like shift it some kind of way. You sort of shift it.
The wig ain't wigging. I got it.
Yeah, just shift it a little. Shift it.
No, she got a pretty face. I can't
Definitely,
lie.
and nice body, nice body.
Yeah, and I do actually like her overall energy. I just want to see more. You know what I mean? And the part of me, and this is the little dose of white knight syndrome in me, wants to save her. But the other part of me, which is healed and says, "Nigga, no."
They don't want to be saved. Is a wizard? Should I save her?
We gonna leave her alone. We gonna leave her alone. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? There's a part of me that wants to save her, another part, the most part of me is like, no. We healed now, bro. We don't do them things no more. You know, but I would love to be able to maybe get more insight into her, because I think she has got deep stories. I think there's a deep background.
Sean, he want to save her. All right, Miss Loretta.
Wait for the door. I'm just thinking, you know what I mean? I want to be able to she makes me, I think maybe my counseling side, she makes me want to get like, what's going on with you, Precious? Talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
Here, lay down right here on this couch, Precious.
Just the comments are killing me right now, though. Between y'all and the comments, I can't take it.
You're not supposed to read the comments, Sean. You're not supposed to read the comments.
You know what I mean?
No, I know. Hey, I know what you mean, Kojo. You know, you're trying to really get to the side of what's the deep-rooted issue of why we're using this so much. What's the cause of that?
You know. And
you said something in your thing earlier on her, and I thought about it too, because in my day, I think part of my mommy issues led me to either act in a way that was kind of like what I thought my mom was like, or just kind of cover up in a way that, okay, let me not deal with that by giving more of myself this way. And look for that love that way until I did become to a place healed, as saying of, you know, that is not going to heal you, because you're not even hurt by a man. You're hurt by a whole woman. So it's just like, you can't find that love, that healing that you're looking for in that. It's just a mask. It's just a drug right now to cover up what's really going on. And until you get that fixed, those are going to continue to be a problem. And you're just going to go down a slippery slope if you continue. So I kind of was getting what you were saying in that earlier, that maybe it's some mommy issue she's covering up.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Yeah, definitely think that's a point that must be considered with Precious. You know what I mean? I think the same way that you beautifully gave us the grace about AP to see a bit different perspective, I think you've kind of given us a bit more to think about here with Precious too. There's more. That there's more to her, and I definitely do believe there's more to her, because I think she spoke to Tori about that thing. We just didn't get to see more of those kind of conversations, coming through. So hopefully we'll see more of that on the show if she stays. If not, we'll have to just kind of hopefully we'll get her in get her on the show, and hopefully interview her and get a good conversation going. Do you get what I'm saying? It might be one of those 3 hour, 4 hour lives, though. 3 or 4 hour interviews. It might be. Who knows? Someone said Precious don't want to be saved. Lord of mercy. Lord have mercy. All right, cool. I think that's pretty much all the people that we've spoken about. Was anyone else, Sean, that we needed to discuss?
We lightly touched on Donovan. They keep saying they want to see me do the wig shift.
Oh no! Y'all are mad. Y'all better leave her alone.
Yeah, we touched lightly on Donovan, right? We talked about Donovan. We talked about Tina. We talked about the elimination. Right. But we don't know the outcome yet. So we have AP and we didn't talk about Ace. Nika said that's right.
What happened with Ace? What happened with Ace?
Wasn't Ace sitting in one of those hammocks or something with somebody, bumping her gums?
Oh damn.
She was talking to somebody.
Who was she talking to?
Hold on, I'll tell you in 2 seconds. I definitely know she was it Laverne?
It might have been. Someone said Ace and Tori. Ace and Tori were having a conversation. I do not remember that conversation. It must have been by the hammocks. But why do I not have notes on it? Let me see. Laverne and Ace and Tori. I don't even have no notes on that. That's mad. I don't even remember that part. It must have been a very short conversation. Sean, you're on mute, you know.
Oh shucks, I remember them talking. We talked about.
Oh, who recited the spoken word? Oh, he said that off the dome stuff, which was, I'm not gonna lie to you, didn't slap. Tori, don't do that again. It didn't slap. Tori, it didn't slap. That poetry was, I prefer Lamont's poetry to that one. I'm not gonna lie to you, fam. The poetry from off the dome, I don't want to hear that, bro. That off the dome stuff, yeah, no. It wasn't slapping. I didn't even understand what the poetry was even about.
That's right. He did that rap.
The rap didn't even have. I don't even know what the substance of the rap was, bro. I don't even know, bro. Like it was for me. It was a little bit all over the place. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's a little bit all over the place, man. I'm not gonna be honest with you. It was a freestyle that for me didn't have much content to it really, and I wasn't really sure what it was trying to achieve. It wasn't great. Okay, it wasn't great. What's our predictions for couple wise? For me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can see Sabrina and Demetrius ending up. I can see potentially Tori and Ace maybe, but I'm not really strong on that. I can see Laverne fighting for Joy. Potentially not winning though, but we'll have to wait and see. Clifton, I see him with Joy, but you know what? The way Carmen came into the conversation, I have a feeling we're gonna see a twist at the end. You know what I mean? To be honest, I'm not sure about any of these couples at the moment, and we're only 4 episodes in anyway. I do not have any particular preference for any of them. Clifton and Joy maybe slightly, but nobody tickles my fancy at the moment. Nobody. What's your thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, and then that's right. He did I've just watched it real quick. He did the rap like, I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to get inside of you, and I want to be your top choice. Like he was trying to ask her, if she was his or if he was her top choice. And she kind of fumbled her way through it and said, "Yeah, you're kind of the cream that's risen to the top." So yeah, I don't know who Ace is gonna be with though. And now that we've got Tina, another goddess, that needs to be experienced too. I mean, how many goddesses have we got? I can't keep up with these people. So I don't know, but I'm trying to figure out who is Ace gonna match up with. I don't know. That's gonna be the odd one. I don't really see who Tori's gonna land with. I don't see, we already see, I think Clifton and Joy are the obvious choice, but they could switch on us. And from the previews of next episodes, Sabrina's going to go off on somebody. I don't know who it is.
Oh, did she go off on the,
She's going to go off on somebody. I don't know who that somebody is, but she's going off on somebody.
That preview was like the very opening trailer for the whole season. So
yeah, I think that's like.
Yeah, because at first we was all thinking that it was going to be Laverne, but I don't know, because it could be Demetrius because they both bald and bearded. So I don't know. But I thought it was Laverne's voice that was spoke back, because whoever it was, they spoke back to her and said it was, you need to check your girl Precious, whoever she was talking to.
Aries says it's Laverne, so that makes sense. I can see that.
But that's what's been weird to me, because I was like, I don't see them really interacting.
Mm-hmm.
For there to be a thing, and then I was trying to figure out how Precious fit in, because I was like, Precious don't interact with Laverne either, so that's a weird dynamic on that clip of why they showed it to us and stuff. I don't know.
So something's gonna go down, but outside of that, I can't see any clear matches. I don't see who Demetrius is gonna align himself with. Maybe Sabrina.
Sabrina, I can't see nobody.
Maybe she'll be like his number 2, unless he starts getting to know Aries and experiencing her. I mean, not Aries. I'm sorry, Aries. Ace.
Who did I match with Ace with in my head? I matched her with. I mean, she still has a connection with Laverne, and I don't know how much that's going to be serious though. So, because
she needs somebody like on that hippy dippy trippy vibe, and I don't see anybody that's like
nobody really.
Yeah, maybe Tori. So maybe she don't seem to be interested in him.
No, I didn't say I saw Jay and Precious in the previews. That was from the trailer clip that her name was mentioned in an argument between Sabrina and Laverne. I guess that's what we're guessing that was arguing. But I didn't see Precious, and trust me, I looked to try to see who made it to the next in that little trailer, and they only showed Tina, Sabrina, Joy out of the ladies. So I was looking, but. Yeah, I don't know who Ace outside of Laverne would be with. I really don't see who Laverne would be with if he don't get Joy. I mean, Ace is his backup.
Yep. Wiley, I don't know who he's gonna land because
did y'all catch Wiley and
Takia holding hands. I said he definitely he's definitely hitting that pussy, baby. Okay.
They walked up into the sunset with holding hands again. I said, "Oh, jeez."
Oh well, listen. Dakia says she was, she's ready. So
she says she's hot and ready. Well, you know what?
She said her engine is revved up, ready to go.
Well, he gonna turn the engine down at this rate then, so she gonna be cool after that. Okay?
That's it.
The poissoir's getting
maintenance. She hit Wally with
ready
the
to lay down. This is
maintenance.
She hit Wally with the key sweat. You may be young, but you're ready.
She's like, age ain't nothing but a number.
Right. Sweet.
Throwing down
my way.
They were holding hands tough, and then they even bypassed Precious, and then they kept on walking. I was like, no, they know, the cameraman knows like what he did. He made sure he stayed on there. He didn't want to do no cuts. He said, no, we're gonna keep this here.
But Eric and Dakia, Eric likes Dakia though.
He does.
He likes Carmen though. That's.
He already dipped his toe in those waters.
Listen.
He ain't circling the block on that. Trust me.
Listen, there's something there.
Okay.
You think that he's hitting the pussy?
If he did, he's trying to get it again. So I think there's something there. I mean, you just don't let somebody just come in and mess up your potential like that.
That's true, The
lash must be have something for it. Like I don't care how, even like what we might consider the weakest man still gonna have something to say. He gonna have some attitude or something about it. Like you just not gonna let a friend come in and mess up.
What you had
to get.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I don't think he chose her though.
I don't think I think he likes the Kia. I think he can see himself probably with the Kia.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But Carmen is given the poissoir. And listen, and so long as he's getting to him, some tasty.
You know what that could be? Joelle. That could be a Joelle situation.
Real quick.
So we're gonna be screaming in that house.
Real quick. It could be real quick.
You thought you can play me?
I was about to choose yo.
I was about to choose your ass.
We merged in like multiple seasons.
Wait. While Eric is trying to cook the vegan, he over there trying to cook the vegan
risotto. While he done chopping them onions. You thought I was gonna choose your ass.
With her flip flops in her hand.
Oh jeez. I'm really just glad right now that we're at a space where there's no more newbies, so I can settle in and just try to hone in on some of these relationships. Because bringing in a new person every week had me on edge too. I'm like, gee, like how many times we gonna do this? So I'm glad we're done. No more news, so we can. I guess we can pay attention to see who's gonna actually start making connections.
I'm hearing you on that still. At this point though, okay, let me ask both of you this last question at this point. Sean, at this point, if you had to go home with one of the ladies, if you had to go home as in you had to date, sorry, apologies, that sounds so rude. If you had to date one of the ladies, who would you be picking at this current conjuncture? Who would you be picking?
Right now, Sabrina.
Okay. Why is that?
I mean, up to this point, I like. She has stable vibes. She seems like she's serious, and intentional. I like the way she handled the conversation with Paul, how she let him down. I thought that was really, smooth and respectful.
I like that. Jay, if
Pretty woman.
yeah, she is very. Jay, if you had to be in a relationship with someone, one of the dudes currently at the moment in this current conjuncture, who would it be?
No, just like you ain't gonna get me killed. No, just like a single me, the single version of me. Okay, a single me would pick possibly Tori. I would probably pick Tori because I did appreciate the openness to even share the story about his mom and things, and then the way he was at least considerate, even if he had bought them cupcakes for himself, he was at least considerate to give the last two up. So, and he's doing things with attention. Mustache, you want to pick a woman? No?
That's what
okay. Okay. Sheesh. But yeah. I would probably say him, if not Clifton, because I just like the energy that he gives off, like the intentional energy. He's gonna make sure, he's there for you.
Definitely hear that. I think myself, I'd probably pick. That's a tough one, isn't it? Freaking out, bruv. Of all the ladies, who would I want to pick as a partner? That's tough, man. That's very tough. I'm not sure, Flip. I might have to default with Sean, and say Sabrina too, just at this current conjunction, she just seems less problematic at the moment to everyone else.
No, because she don't have enough bum for you. Don't even try to play that. Let's be right. Let's be real. You might be at Tina.
But all the other ones are kind of toxic. You know what I mean? Like Carmen is. I couldn't date Carmen. I mean, Carmen, listen, call me, but I couldn't date Carmen. Do you know what I'm saying? Call me. So,
not the secret. Call me.
I can't even. But I think for me, exactly. I think a more sensible choice would probably be Sabrina out of order. Tina's there, but you know what? I'm not ready to be a dad. That's my thought process. It would be Tina, but I'm not ready to be a dad. Do you know what I'm saying? And I know people probably say don't think about it, but I'm thinking about it. So let's say if I didn't have to think about that, then it would have been Tina. I like Tina's energy. Tina's energy is correct at the moment. I haven't seen her madness yet. You know what I mean? Tina's pretty cool.
And that thong was thonging because I did see it through that little thing she tried to have.
I wasn't looking, so I don't know. I mean,
well, I looked for you.
Okay, I mean,
it was to your liking.
I mean, I kept my head on head level, so I don't know anything else.
Well, the cameraman didn't for me, so it was.
The cameraman was awful. Shambolic. Cameraman was Cameroon. I don't know what he was doing. I was like, brother, please, this is meant to be a PG show before Watershed, like, sir, please.
He said PG-17.
He said he's trying to go for the 18 plus. Like, yo, he better calm down. Someone said I picked Zadia last season. That was because I said about who do I fancy. That's a bit different. It's a bit different to who you're taking, who you're gonna be dating. Please, you know what I mean. Now, if I had to choose a toxic choice, call me Carmen. So,
if you need somebody to talk to.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So listen, we've come to the end of the show, guys. It's been an amazing show so far. We appreciate you guys for coming through. It's been good vibes, good energy, and some good times as well. So listen, we'll be back here Thursday night for our live on Married at First Sight. Also Tuesday night we're gonna have a little bit of a live. I've got a young lady who is going to talk to us about her BBL journey. Yes, you know what? I'm fascinated by, this phenomenon that is, taking over our generation. So I got a friend just to come and talk to us about her journey through the BBL, why she did it, what was her kind of goal that she had in mind? You know, is it good to do? Does she regret it? Does she not regret it? Whatever. You know, have a little bit of a conversation around that. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more and hearing some real stories, tune in on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. CST. So it'll be 7 p.m. EST. I just remember that. I had to think about the time. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have that conversation as well. All right. But listen, Sean, please give us the benediction before I go anywhere.
Well, first, by popular request, they just want a wig shift. So that's
if Precious comes from me saying about your panel, I'm a send her to your profile.
No, please.
She gonna have some words for you, Precious. I think you're cute and sexy and amazing.
I'm gonna be hiding out somewhere.
Let me even message Precious Black. You know, I feel you, baby. Go on, sir.
Blame it all on me. So listen, everybody, this was a great chat tonight. I think we made more of the episode than it actually gave. Yeah. You know, we had such a good time, and I love the space that we're in, where we can laugh, we can talk, we educate one another, we hear different perspectives. Let's keep it going. I think all of these things that we're talking about, whether it's how to be better prepared for relationships, how to remove our walls down, you know, how to navigate difficult conversations well, you know, how to make ourselves seen without being the center of attention, right? These are some of the themes we saw in the most recent episode. I think these are all things we could take and use in our lives for those of us that are looking for relationships. So thank you all for tonight. I think, you know, we things are starting to heat up. It's episode 4. I'm curious to see episode 5, and we can really start seeing the synergy amongst some of the couples, and then we can really dive into some of their relationship dynamics. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll turn it back to you, Coach.
I appreciate it, sir. Listen, audience, it's been amazing. It's been great. Thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate your time. Listen, we'll be here again, man. Listen, Love is Blind. We're back tomorrow night as well. I'll give you guys another live on episode 7. Also, there's a new show coming out, and I'm gonna review it. Okay, it's not a new show. It's gone a few seasons already. But Are You the One has got a new season coming out. Are you dizzy? Listen, that show has people in tears every single season, because people think they've made a match, and they go into the booth, and the booth tells them, you're not a match. I'm telling you, Heartbreak Central. So we'll be reviewing it.
What's this on?
Netflix.
Okay.
Are You the One? Trust me, it's going to be wavy. It hasn't come out just yet. I think it comes out in March, midway March. That show, Heartbreak Hotel. I'm telling you, Jay, listen, Heartbreak Hotel. People go in there thinking they're going to find their one. They end up finding someone they really, really like. Then they have to go into the booth to see if they're the test of time. The booth tells them, you're not compatible. And it's so peak. I'm telling you. So, listen, we when that comes out, we will review it as well. So make sure you guys jump on that as well. All right, cool. Guys, it's been good. It's been amazing. Listen, don't do anything I wouldn't do. There's not much I wouldn't do, especially when it's 2022 to 2023. So be careful out there in those streets, because they're really, really hot, okay? In the case of UK people, it's windy, okay? Storm Eunice has come out here trying to blow people's wigs off. So be careful, secure your wig, secure yourself, okay? Adjust it if you need to adjust it. Okay, Precious, I love you. I'm not involved in this. And we'll see you again very